Wow. So let's welcome in Kelly Carmichael, who's here to talk to us about Nationwide.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for having me in to talk about retirement plans and specifically Nationwide. I appreciate it.
This song changed my mind. They're going to sing it.
Nationwide is
Well,
great.
I'm not that. I can go back and carry it too, basically is what I'm saying.
Carry on. No, that's okay. I get to hear.
You should.
I can sure.
Hi.
Look at that. I'll be the head of the team.
A few things have changed since I saw you all in June, it must have been. I and my partners, Kendall Bryce and George Bryce, have started our own independent firm called Pronghorn Wealth Management. What cards if anyone wants them. So I'm really excited about that and the opportunities that it affords. It kind of opens the doors for a bunch of new products that we didn't have available in the past. And specifically their retirement plan support is so much improved from what I've experienced for the last 30 plus years that it's just exciting and very refreshing. So that's kind of a big deal. We have a new phone number, a new address, new emails, so everything has changed. So,
Where's that at?
Casper, yes. We're actually just 2 blocks down the street from where we used to be. The current plan that we have has served us well for the last number of years, but one of the reasons that we decided to make the change we did is that, you know, technology hasn't kept up with what I think as plan sponsors you all are used to, and certainly not what your employees are used to seeing. So I think for that reason and some administrative cumbersome issues, is that fair to what we call it?
So just to add into what you said, right now, when somebody wants to make a change to their plan, I, as the plan administrator, have to sign off on everything they do with their own money. Even though it's not my business, I should have no say over it. I have to sign off on it. So that's what she's talking about.
So there's newer products that are just more administratively friendly. And also, as we had talked about in June, there are some government regulation that we need to comply with. And so this gives us an opportunity to do that as well. So great timing. So in looking at the different retirement plans out there, I did look at other plans available through Lincoln. I looked at Empower, I looked at American Funds, I looked at T. Rowe Price. So it wasn't just, let's go to Nationwide. I did kind of peruse not more, got numbers from these other companies. So we know, and I have very much confidence, I guess, in Nationwide and what they bring to the table. They really offer the most value and services at a very competitive price. And really at the forefront of what they do is employee satisfaction and success. So I think that it's could be a very good move all the way around. I gave you Nationwide's formal proposal, and I won't walk you through every single page of that, but there are some things that I would point out. If you turn to, and there's not page numbers, so that makes it even easier. That's right. Exactly. This welcome page. they talk about really the reasons why I think that they're a good fit for you all, and that is better participant experiences, administrative simplicity, and the values that translate into service that should impact everyone associated with it. So this packet kind of dives into each of those things a little deeper. But we can just I just wanted to hit some high points so that you all were familiar with them and give you an opportunity to ask questions, or we can go that. If you skip ahead a couple of pages, one that looks like that, yes. They're focused on employee education and the ability for employees to access their plans easily is far above anything that employees have been used to for a long time. So this page, and if we were online, we'd be able to click on these and see what each of these little videos looks like, but huge library of online videos that employees could access. They offer us a dedicated person that can come help enroll employees, as well as an in-person educator, if that's something we want to take advantage of. It's not intended to replace me, I hope, or my partners, but definitely to enhance those services. They can offer in-person enrollment. They can do virtual enrollment. It's really what works best for the employee. Some employees may want to do it virtually and others may not. So, all that is available. They will do an unlimited number of meetings with employees. If, somebody has a question that just can't seem to get answered, or an issue we can't figure out, well, as much as it takes, we'll get it handled. And none of that comes at an additional, none of that comes at an additional cost. It's all included with the nationwide platform.
So you do it in person, how often would that be? Every quarter?
Yes, yeah.
Quarterly?
Mhm. I mean, currently the plan is set up to have enrollment quarterly. So unless there was a reason you all wanted to change that, we would continue. The next page talks about their ability to assist the employees in their financial planning and financial wellness. So employees could access information, online, by text, video, audio, whatever works best for them. And the videos and information is tied to what's appropriate for that employee. So a 20-year-old person is not going to get a video about, are you ready to retire? Because probably not, so not a lot of, women in retirement planning would be sent to a male, they hone it and structure it for their customer. So I think that would be nice too. They do offer an individual that employees can reach out to do more sophisticated financial planning if they want to do that. There is no cost initially, but if they want to do something more sophisticated, that would be a conversation that the employee would have with Nationwide and wouldn't involve the plan itself. But those are the types of things that are available.
I'm not purchasing long-term care insurance or
Yeah.
Medicare.
Exactly right. Whatever that topic. Social security planning, those that impact when it gets to be retirement. The next page kind of talks about their app. Some people really like to do things on their computer and online. Others prefer to do it on their phone, on an app. Their app is fully functioning.
That's him.
So it's not a mirror of the website. It's an
I have an
actual.
extra one, Kelly.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
There's one right there.
Oh, my bad. Apparently I'm blind.
So it's a fully functioning app. An employee can do anything on the app that they can do on the website. So I think that that kind of technology is going to be a real boost for employees as well. Customer service really is at the forefront of what Nationwide brings to the table. They're proud to point out that they have received Dalbar Plan Participant Service Award for the last 9 years. I can't lie, I had to Google to see what that was.
Good for them.
Yes, that's right. So what that is the highest tier of call center service. So saying they do a great job when employees call in at their call center.
They have a low turnover.
Yeah.
5-star rating.
Yeah. There you go. They do operate on Pacific time zones, so employees in our time zone should be able to access customer service pretty easily, and they're open on Saturdays, so that is also helpful. 70% of their calls are answered within 20 seconds, so they really do strive to meet those higher standards of customer service. On the following page, that kind of talks about some of the advantages of the investments within the plan. There is a core of funds that hits each of the different asset classes that an employee could choose from, or if they want to get really investigative and look at other funds that are available, there are up to 1,700 other funds that they could access. They're not the core funds that are advertised on the website, but click once more and then you're up to open up this window to this other 1,700 funds. So for those individuals that like to do that research and dig in to see what's available, that is definitely something that they would be able to do. That seems a little overwhelming to me personally. 1,700 is a lot, but there are some people that really enjoy doing it. So that would give
In other
them.
words, if they liked black, then they could invest in black.
There's supposed to be a new cryptocurrency ETF coming to the scene, but something like that if they wanted to. Both kind of things. The next page talks about some of their most common fund managers, their names that you recognize, and in all honesty, funds that are fund managers that are in the plan now as well. So should be some familiar names to employees, but then there's going to be some others that they could investigate if they wanted to do that. Obviously, the plan would offer a QDIA, which is required for retirement plans. That's the qualified designated investment option. So when an employee fills out a enrollment form and doesn't select an investment, it goes into the QDIA. And so they make sure that the QDIA meets all the requirements that the QDIA needs to. Let's see. Again, lots of different options for the financial piece, the funds that employees can choose, and for future planning as well. One thing I wanted to point out is a couple pages back that has a 73% on it. I know you all have an HSA as part of your health insurance plan that is administered through Pinnacle Bank, am I correct? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Pinnacle does her HSA.
Yes, okay. So they being Nationwide, are in partnership with Health Equity, which is the largest manager of HSA plans in the country. We can link those together so that employees can track their HSAs on the same website if that's something that ever. It also allows employees to invest additional funds in the market if they wanted to with their HSAs. So, I mean, again, just other things that Nationwide has available that might be of interest down the line. Through. Again, administrative simplicity is really important, not only based on from where we're coming, but just because it shouldn't be so difficult, to administer a plan. We would have a dedicated person, one point of contact. You would have the email and phone number for this individual. So this person's not going to change every day, or, obviously they do go on vacation. Apparently they allow that. So, in those situations, there would be a follow-up, but, you would have that one designated person, which is very nice from my perspective as well. Their customer service people have designations that go along with that. So they're well-trained. The average customer service person has 5 years tenure in retirement plan administration. So they're familiar with the rules and, all that goes along with that.
Well, that's each different thing. Would they get like a credit card too? I mean, some agencies have those.
Yes, and Health Equity does one of those or offer those. I only know that because that's what my agency is. So, yeah. Cybersecurity, as you know, is a big deal, especially when you're dealing with somebody's finances. And Nationwide prides themselves on their programs to help eliminate and reduce any fraud or cyber threats for employees and for plan sponsors. They do guarantee if someone is the victim of fraud or some sort of cyber threat, that their account would be made whole. If provided the employee didn't authorize something, but if it truly was somebody hacking their account and took money out, that would be guaranteed, and the employee would be made whole. So that's kind of a nice thing to have in the back pocket as well.
Is there any cost for that?
That's just the fiduciary responsibilities and programs that should be associated with a retirement plan are definitely in place. The 338 investment management fiduciary comes into play. That coverage for that is included. Any employee notifications that need to be sent out. Sometimes, there's enrollment or any changes that happen legislatively that employees need to be informed about. They will take care of those as well, or provide them to you. So, Charlotte can take care of them. The services for plan documents and the administration and all that goes into that is provided as just part of their overall services. They don't tack on any extra charges. So I do think it really is a good value for the services that they offer and the standard that they have for those services. So plans very customizable. The Nationwide has been administering 401k plans for almost 50 years. They have 35,000 plans, 2.5 million participants with $172 billion in retirement assets. So they're not new to the game. They know what they're doing. They have very strong financial ratings, which is important with an insurance company that's taking care of your employees' money. They have the AM Best A+ rating, Moody's, and Standards & Poor's are at the very top of this. That is. One other thing that Nationwide is a mutual insurance company, which is different than a stockholder-owned, an insurance company that sells individual shares of stock. And that might not sound like a big deal, but having worked for both types of insurance companies, I have found truly that a mutual insurance company offers a different level of service because they do not have to worry about stockholders and meeting, what stockholders are anticipating them to meet. A lot more of profits are put back into the company, into their employees, and other services that they have. So I have personally experienced that, and I do think it makes a difference. They do put people first, their employees, their customers, and it shows overall in the longevity of their employees and services they provide. Any specific questions to that? As you get further back, the pricing for the plan is shown. Again, there's no hard dollar cost. There's no setup fees, no document fees, none of that sort of thing. They combine the two plans. Recall you have the 457B plan and the matching 401A plan. When they price a plan, they are combining those together so that you get the best pricing. And between their costs and the fund costs, the total asset fee is 0.57%, so just above 0.5%, which based on the current plan and the expense ratios within your current plan, it's about a $12,000 to $13,000 savings annually to the employees. So it's should be lower cost, and some of that is dictated by the funds that employees choose, but it should reduce their costs.
Asset-based admin fee, that 0.03%. What is that what you were talking about
Yes.
just now? Okay.
Could you maybe make a summary statement comparing it to Lincoln, just because we talked about a lot of stuff?
Right.
Is that fair to ask of you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the biggest difference is that you all as plan sponsors will encounter is the simplicity of the administration. I think that's huge. I think that employees will encounter much more friendly experiences, much better outcomes, mainly because their accounts are going to be so much easier to access and they can see exactly what is going on. There's a host of different investment choices. They should have the same support for enrollment through myself as well as any other services that Nationwide offers. And we should be able to save money doing it.
So it's cheaper, more flexible, and less hassle.
Yes, that is even a better summary.
Perfect. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. Always available. I'll just leave these here. But obviously I'm always available. Questions come up. We need. Let me know.
Thank you. You guys on the back, are these your partners?
No,
Oh,
no. This Jacob is the Nationwide representative, and Gabriel is focuses on the education. You know, Jacob is kind of once, you know, I said we want to go this route, that once it's all transitioned over, we probably won't hear as much from him. As opposed to Gabriel.
So how much of a hassle is it? Is it to transfer over?
It's not without effort. Because you know, as Jen and I were talking, you know, when you move employees' money from one company to another, that can cause heartburn. And so obviously our goal would be to reduce that as much as possible. We should be able to help employees get enrolled with the new company, whether that's in online or in person, you know, whatever an employee wants to do. Lincoln will transfer the dollars from an employee's account over here to their new account. So that just, yeah, exactly right. So that transition will take place. It's paperwork. But we do have the opportunity also to, you know, update the plan provisions to, you know, get the raw option in place for everybody else. So some of those things that we needed to do to comply with the new rules from Secure 2.0, this gives us the opportunity to do that.
Anything else for Kelly?
Thank you.
Well, Kelly, thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. We
Thank
really
you very
appreciate
much.
you taking
Yes.
the time.
That I marked.
Oh, no, that's for you. And I'll leave these extras here too in case you have need of them.
Thank
And
you.
don't hesitate to reach out if I can.
Very much, very
Thanks.
much.
You get all these.
Nailed it or? No, emailed it. Okay, okay, because I'm like I said, I was thinking about it the other day. And I was like, did I? Last time you beat is there, so. Yeah. Okay, 3. When I first started, and it was, I think I thought you was.
No, very smart.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Send it to you.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm sorry, my fault. No, well, I was talking about it.
Hey, Manning on.
True. And then.
Very good flat.
There.
I'm always out to
How are you guys doing? Doing good? But I'm actually gonna yell down. On the back of my head, and I don't like that. When I was down there before. Right on my head.
I was like, I showered today.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell? Oh, man, I'll do better next time.
They take it home. The
But I showered today. This Gary's leaving.
I maybe didn't do a good job on the back of my hair, so.
If you leave them and you guys vote yes, I'll get most of employees. Okay. So it'll be up to whatever you want to do.
It's all good.
It's just here, it's not such a job.
Try not to disrupt. You can keep yours.
They are. Doesn't cost you. Yeah. Never done.
Well, look here. What do you mean? Piper, what do you think? Kim, is there any way we could give all the employees a say in this?
We just want to vote.
Yeah. I don't know
Have
that
have
they.
the employees educated on this at all? No.
If you guys want us to educate them and then vote on it next time, that's totally cool. It's whatever you guys.
We usually do. Like it was mentioned that
I think
there.
That's what I.
Yeah, I don't know if we're open. I don't know, there's no open enrollment for this, for nationwide. So we can, I mean, we certainly can. There's no open enrollment.
What's,
it'll change the time of the transfer because they wanted to get the money transferred by January 1, but that was just the convenience. It's not a hard stop by any stretch. So,
we still have time.
oh yeah, we got plenty. It'll take a little while to transfer, but
Yeah.
yeah, we can do it in December.
We can do it.
Well,
Yeah, we can do it that way.
we can talk about it at open enrollment, we can do
Dottie,
open enrollment for the health and
let's
the dental and
discuss
stuff. Then we can talk to them about, hey, you also have this retirement plan. This is another option we're looking at. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the vote for this.
That's this, that is this, yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, and Blue Cross Blue Shield.
It's open enrollment.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
didn't know if that fell under that or what.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we can maybe put it under there. I don't know, whatever you guys want to do. But you guys could vote an idea. You could vote yes if the employees vote more than 50% that they
Yes.
would accept it, and then they won't slow it down.
I'll add it.
That's what I was gonna say.
I know.
Not my policy.
We don't want to, we don't want to.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, no. I don't want you to have.
Okay, guys.
Here's your gavel.
No, it's here. There. I hate the gavel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:30.
5:31, yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
We do, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Let's all rise and do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and Ann Slagle will do the opening prayer.
Go ahead and sit down. It's okay.
Thank you.
Father, I just thank you for this day and thank you for these people for all of us that are here interested in the hospital. And just pray that you would really give us wisdom and insight and help us to see what is best for the hospital and for our community. Thank you for that. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Very nice. Okay, next thing on the agenda is the board person of the month. And our board person of the month happens to be Kelly Reed. Now, I have to read this, Kelly, okay? This is from Travis. Don't cry. I
It's
can-
okay if you cry.
I cannot say enough good things about Kelly and the customer service that she provides at our facility. Kelly is very open and accepting of everyone that comes through our doors and is willing to go above and beyond to meet their needs. Kelly looks at everyone as an opportunity to find ways to improve their care and quality of life, and not just through medications that we dispense, but to benefit them physically, emotionally, and financially. Kelly's compassion isn't confined to the four walls she works within either, and is oftentimes visiting with people throughout the community in various businesses and coming up with a plan to help them. Some of our patient-centered services that we provide were initiated and pursued by Kelly from the beginning. Kelly is constantly learning and expanding her knowledge so that she can apply this to our patients. Kelly truly has a servant's heart, but in the most humble way, that she will not like being recognized for the work that she has been doing. And Kelly, you're an inspiration to us all. And this is from Travis. He couldn't make it tonight, and I apologize. He apologized, and then Jamie has something to say.
Well, I've just known you forever. And I thought, he's just this wonderful person that's behind there and helped me with my Medicare stuff and a lot of other good things I've heard. And I can't expound more than Travis, because I feel the same way. You're a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Thank you.
This is temporary because Denise is out and you know we don't function without her. But here's the beginning of one.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So like I tell everybody, you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to leave, whatever you want.
Okay. I might just go back just because there's other things. Finish up for
Okay.
the evening, but
So much. for
thank
everything
you.
do.
Thank you, Kelly. We really appreciate you.
Do you have anything to say?
just I'm very, very humbled, very honored. This is took me, I'm completely surprised I didn't know. So I just I had no idea. Maybe they have
Everybody does.
questions or maybe I'm answering something. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Do we have any visitor comments?
I don't think a visitor's heard you ask.
I think not. Mike, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to make one comment. Most of you guys know who we are here. And we've been in and out of this place as patients and support people. And I just want to say that also really wonderful to us.
Oh,
Thank you.
Part of that is definitely due to you people, staff. And so thank you. We're
Thank you.
primarily just to observe, because we haven't had a chance to come in because Connie's just now. Matter of fact, this week she got released from PT. So she's just now at a point where we can actually go out and actually do something. But I just want to let you know we're very pleased with the hospital.
Thank you.
that was very nice of you, not only to come here to tell us that, but to say those kind words. That is really nice. Thank you so much. Well, thank you.
Thank you
Well, we
very
know
much.
you to be truthful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments? Additions to or changes to the agenda? I have two. One, I want to talk about the ministers. And then we're going to add the nationwide, we're going to do a soft vote on this so that when the employees, if they decide to go with it, you got approval already or whatever we do. So I'll just tack that on at the end.
So we're adding nationwide and what else?
In the ministry.
Ministry.
Yeah, I'll explain.
Oh, okay.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting and as well as the other minutes that were put in finance and quality?
I so moved.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. William, you're up.
Well, good. You know, you got a package I handed out to you earlier today. While ago. And just some things there, you know, one of the last meetings, I believe, we talked about information forthcoming. There's none, had been nothing coming at all. And talking to the judge, you know, we said, hey, each board member needs to know something, what's going on. So we put together a list that we can get things closed by. Best guess scenario, things change constantly. You know, the cost report and the June close is working very diligently with that. There's several people involved in that. Hopefully, we thought we'd have it closed by this Friday. Looks like a few more things that come up. It's amazing the things we found the last couple of days. Things keep turning out. But anyhow, we should have it closed first part next week. The cost report in June close there.
Do you mind if I ask you, you
I don't
say
mind at all.
things that turn out, what does that mean?
Journal entries made in the wrong direction. Journal entries don't back up. Who knows if they grabbed it out of the air and put a journal entry. I tell you, one thing, Cindy and Kelly had just found us tons of stuff I could not believe. I was there yesterday pulling stuff with Sandy and Jennifer, and we just kept pulling things and couldn't find half the things. It just wasn't back up. Those kind of things.
Okay.
It puts a big cog in the wheel, you know, trying to get that stuff done. You know, the other thing we're looking at is the SAGE training ADP. We go live on those. December the 1st, we run concurrent with the other post systems. And there's a lot of training that's showing Judge today. The test we have to do, there's one test we have to do is 8 hours long. You read through and make a test, and you don't pass it, you gotta take it over again. So somebody passed it on the first time, but you know, not the one. I haven't taken it yet.
Good job.
Yeah, those things are, you see what we've done here. And one thing I was telling Jen about this today, we talked too much, I guess, today. The things we go through here, when December closed, you know, we close that in March, and we're almost ready for the year to close again. So there are 6 more months, so we're going to have to really double up, things like that. And I think once we get a plan going, get past the new system there, I think we can start a lot better, get 1 or 2 under our belts, what's going on, where you got the information there. We'll make some changes. I really feel that our contractual and bad debt, I'm not used to doing it the way we do it here. Not that it's wrong, but the way I've done it all my life, the auditors approved of. So we might be changing that a bit easier to transition to that also. A better handle. So that's the first page of many.
ADP thing, I'm sorry.
Payroll.
That's part of stage intact.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The next thing is the cash receipts. Let's get an idea where we are as we speak today. You know, you see our cash on hand we have there, 710,000. The bills that coming in and stuff, we got payroll for next week. So in essence, if we get no more money coming to the door, we're $420,000 short. That won't happen. I know, because you know we have quite a bit of money still coming in, and with next week being a payroll week, we got to do it earlier too. So we'll you know, I got to tell everybody we transfer money the very last minute that we have to. I won't transfer this. There are no options there. You know, or we have not printed checks, the payable checks, and just push the bills back in a few days, which we can do that too. I don't want to take money out of the money market. That's I absolutely have to. You know, we took $400,000 out last month or a couple weeks ago because of the Wyoming thing. We took money's coming back in. Hopefully, real soon we'll replace that. It's earmarked to go back in the money market, so we will not bother that.
The Medicaid deposit didn't go back in.
We haven't got it yet, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm still waiting on that.
Okay.
And I think Sandy has over $2 million in claims that are out.
Yes,
right now.
yes.
So there's a good chance we'll get enough in, but we just can't guarantee it.
This next sheet's a little, you have to really think about this sheet. Something that Jennifer did I really like. It just takes the bank statement, see what happened so far in the month of October. You can see the revenue we had there, the expenses there. It looks like we made $543,000. We did not make that. You know, I mean, some expenses not hit there. You know, we got contractuals, we got a lot of things like that, depreciation. So I'll cover that next sheet. This is, you can see the money we collected and hit the bank this month, October.
So Redefy, we got 12 grand,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had to pay $2,300 or $2,400.
Yes.
So we really essentially a little under 10.
Well, the main thing is we got money in
Yeah, I know.
for that, you know, I said like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I said at finance committee. We got more money with the Vidify to start than we get from collections. So it's awesome.
Okay, guys, this next sheet, it says draft on it. When I interviewed, I said I would never put anything out that was not final. It's great, accurate. This is not totally accurate. But like I said, you got to have something to look at. You see the numbers, the handwritten numbers on the left. I looked at the prior months and stuff, averaged that out. So if the way we're going now, we'll finish up June about 320,000 in the hole. For the year, it's a little $3 million we're gonna lose this year. Remember that also, we don't talk that word, don't say that word, you know, depreciation, things like that. Okay, this is not EBITDA. But all kidding aside, you know, that we're doing some different things. We'll more sheets later, we'll tell you some things we're doing. And I really think this will get better as we speak. You can have actually accurate stuff coming soon. And the next board meeting, you should have June, maybe hopefully July too. Those both be done. The cost reports will be filed. We'll work on the audit as we speak too. But again,
This is just the June.
this is just June, yeah. This for the year to date. I didn't want to put this out, but I got to my thinking, you got to have something to look at. I know last meeting, Carrie asked me, you got anything for us? No, I don't have anything. So I took that to heart. Okay.
Well, William, is it fair to say though, you know, it was reported that we were about 3 million in the hole, like in the early spring.
Yep.
So would it be fair to say that we're pretty stable?
Yes. You know, the last year's audit, I was disappointed in because it didn't mention going concern or things like that. So, I don't know what's last year I wasn't here, but Kelly has helped me a whole lot on this stuff, the audit stuff like that, working with her, getting things together. It's been a team effort. It's 3 people in this building that's helped with this stuff. So I think it's stabilizing. The journal entries, we still are we don't know what's going on there. And there's one journal entry made $180-something thousand. We have no idea where it came from. And they said, they use a word I hate using, plug. A lot of plug numbers in the system we had.
Good job. Thank you.
I hate that word.
I know too.
When I was at school, in one of my classes, if I used the word plug, you failed. We adjust. They did a lot of adjustment last year.
So the expenses in June, like that purchase services, that 406,581, that's pretty factual or not?
The purchase services, that's the traveler.
Right.
And that's comes, I mean, Jennifer does those AP checks out of Meditech.
Out of
That's
that.
accurate.
So that's actually.
But please don't think this is totally accurate. Okay?
No,
There's some adjustments coming.
5% either way.
5 to 7. It's 5 to 7%. We want it to be 5%. We bring it up 5%.
But it's good to have something.
These next reports that I have that you don't have, may not have those on there.
That's what's
Great,
next
yeah.
in our.
Okay, these are reports that Judd made, and I reviewed this. I said, "Gosh, some good information here." Tells you the things we have there and going on. The days cash on hand, which I really like. Days cash on hand without the AR at 75 days. You know what that means? That we can go 75 days without money coming in.
Right.
Do that.
The money we got.
Yes, exactly right. Again, we don't want to touch the money market or the CD list. We have to do that. So this report, I liked this report last week. I got it from him, and so I stole it. You have the piggy report now? Okay. That's what we thought. This is not the same thing. It's different formats here. It's got 75 days cash on hand, and with the AR, it's got 151 days. Again, Cindy told us yesterday over $2 million should be coming in pretty fast there too. So cash, that's why I said we won't touch the money market at 400,000 unless something drastic happens. And that'll be the last resort. I think Piper, me, and Sandy's all agree, no, don't touch it. So we're gonna try to keep that like that, keep it separate there. This one is 2 more reports are in it.
Those other ones are just different formats for the ones that you already did.
Yeah.
So it's so you can plug numbers and roll and make the other sheets.
This one here, I really like. Pharmacy price adjustments. Again, Judd put some stuff together there and I reviewed it. And I tell you one thing, when you have pharmacy, when you make your contracts with vendors, they'll pay what they want to, and your copay. But a lot of the money we leave on the table is private pay. One comment I heard, private pay should be almost equal to copays of the insurance company, but we need to do some price checking over the counter. I made a comment, let's go check places to buy things, make sure we're close to their prices, but let's not undersell, leave money on the table. Again, I do not want to punish private pay because I like you. But all kidding aside, but a lot of times when you do changes, it's always against the private pay. We also make sure it's equitable like that going forward. And I think the report he did there is really good. We can make that work and save money, make money in pharmacy for a while. We get to organize and
So what's proposed on there, just to speak to it? If we did a 24% price increase, and I know that sounds astounding, right? 24% increase, and we did it 7% at a time, about every 3 to 6 months, just so we don't overshoot. Because what we don't want to do is burden anybody that doesn't have that money to spend. But if we did a 24% increase on something that's, let's say $10, instead of paying $10, they're paying $12.40. So it sounds big, but to most of the figures we're talking about, we're not talking about $100 and $300 drugs. We're talking about $5 and $10 and $20 drugs that are really where we're going to be able to recruit. And right now we're losing money on a retail pharmacy, which is kind of counterintuitive. And it doesn't have to be that way. We're close. And what that 24% gets us to is about a $250,000 potential profit, which, we have to be able to cover new equipment and stuff like that that's coming in. And let's say we did that for a couple of years and we actually did make that kind of profit, then I think we need to back off. It would,
We need that profit to support the programs that don't make it profit.
exactly. that too. But if we can get everything rolling that way, just with enough margin that we can, cover emergent staffing needs, cover the equipment that we'll need in the future. Right now, like if something broke, we're digging into other areas of the hospital to cover equipment damage. So like when the drive-through thing goes down, somewhere else has to cover to keep that going.
About large ticket. You said, oh, it's small, but then there's some very expensive medication.
Kim did a nice write-up on.
Yes, she did.
James Martin's, Don Thorson, Gene Baldwin,
Gene Baldwin, what a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy said, well, just tell them about life on the ranch. Well, I guess I could do that because I was there, Now, before we start, let's make a deal. If you get done listening before I get done talking, raise your hand. Now, I thought that ought to be pretty good. It ought to be a lot easier than trying to select a speaker for the House of Representatives.
You said, oh, it's small, but then there's some very expensive medication.
There are.
That could really make that price a lot higher
It could.
for an individual.
It could. I don't know how many people with self-pay though are paying. I mean, imagine it's some. I mean, it's fair to say that there's a couple people. It's not the vast majority as far as I know. And Travis is working on getting me like that on how much like business we have coming through on Saturday and Sunday so that we know that should we stay open 7 days a week? Because that's part of our cost, right?
I think I'm glad that he's doing that.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, it's a good benefit for the community.
yeah, but
Well, no,
But
yeah.
there's just so much. I mean, if there's one or two people coming through,
Yeah.
it's not,
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, but I think we need to see what does
right.
come
We
through
need to
there
see
because,
who's coming through.
yeah.
Just see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you done price comparisons with the other pharmacies?
I have not. I have not done.
Increased fees, you really have to,
Oh, yeah.
you have to look at,
Stay competitive.
We did talk about
Cambria
it.
and.
Right now.
I mean, you can't compete with CVS and Walmart,
No.
but you have to be in the same ballpark as them.
Right. Go ahead, sir.
I got a real simple question here.
Sure.
Because, we have a retail pharmacy. Is there any reason you have to do it across the board? Can't you do it drug by drug?
Yeah, we totally could. Yes.
So, 'cause then you can.
And then you're not.
Yeah. So we could keep it to the lower end. And part of the reason I haven't done price comparison is we're actually charging less than the copay of medicines for a lot of medicines.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes in and, hey, your copay is $20. Oh, but our self-pay is $5. So just give us $5. So we're voluntarily giving people a really good deal. And if you want price comparisons done, that's what we'll do. It's whatever the board desires. But if we don't do some sort of price increase or cut costs drastically, we're not gonna make a profit or even break even for that matter.
You gotta do that.
Well, and the higher priced drugs, you can leave them here
Mhm.
and just wait to see what else happens
Yeah,
here.
we could do
And
a
maybe
7%
leave it
increase
alone.
under $20
Right,
and call it good. Like it's our retail pharmacy. To his point, we can do kind of whatever we want to do.
right.
Or maybe when we just come within 50% of a copay.
But if you do a price increase on retail pharmacy doesn't cover everyone and it doesn't apply to everyone because you only are increasing self-pay prices. You're not increasing insurance prices.
Correct. And
So
I built that
is
price.
that 3/4 of your business? It doesn't impact at all.
Correct. That price increase is built off just the self-pay. So I took out all the insurance numbers because if we included self-pay, we only needed to increase it. I think it was 7% even. We wouldn't have to go to the 24.
So is your copay considering, is your self-pay considering copay people or just?
No, that's just considering self-pay. So even if,
Doesn't change.
yeah. So If we just got the self-pay price up a little bit more, then the co-pay people are gonna have to contribute. And that's part of the reason I say, like, let's do 7%, and then 3 to 6 months out, depending where we land, we'll do another 7%. Because we don't want to do anything all at one time, because we may overshoot at 24%.
Over the counter,
Yeah,
done anything with that?
I haven't touched over the counter. Yeah,
I talked to him about that last week to do some comparisons in places.
yeah, for over the counter, I think we definitely need to price compare. But for our self-pay, we're way low as far as I can tell, and that's why I didn't price compare. But also because it's tough to price, like I'd have to go to Ruth and say, okay, tell me how much you're charging for, and that dynamic's a little different than like just walking through the store and okay, their lip balm is $2 and ours is $1, you know, because and a lot of times the price compare, I have to actually, I don't know how I would even do it. Like Ruth would have to voluntarily give me your price list, which I think would be unfair. And then Medicare may come down on us for price setting, because as soon as I ask for somebody else's prices that's in the same town, I've committed a governmental thing, and I don't really want to wear orange.
You don't want to go to jail?
No,
Don't forget Dollar General.
Yeah.
Dollar General has a big over the counter.
yeah, our over the counter stuff is more boutique, it seems like, and man, we have some really great products in there. I've used a lot of them myself, and I'm pleased. So.
Any other questions for me?
I have one, William.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that the journal entries are inaccurate.
There was a lot of them inaccurate, and they closed them up the year
So
last
do
year.
different people do journal entries?
Well, I wasn't here, but we had some journal entries by the previous people in there.
Okay, yeah, I
Yes.
just wondered if it was several people doing journal.
Previously, all the journal entries were done by Liz.
Okay.
I didn't want to say that. Thank you.
You didn't.
Right.
I just didn't know if it was
And they
different
were just
people.
put in the wrong, I mean, instead of credit, they were debit or backwards, you know what I mean? They're
Okay.
just backwards.
Tracking
And-
it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Cindy and Kelly was having a hard time just trying to find, where'd that come from? Trying any kind of backup, who was pulling everything we possibly could. And then that one entry, no idea what happened there, just a plug.
Spent a lot of time looking for that.
We did, well, we gotta make it as close as possible.
Yeah.
For the cost for it in the audit bill, so, you know, I keep saying, once this is completed, we're gonna get shape going forward though.
I was just gonna say, once you get caught up,
Yes.
that is.
Yeah.
I know, I look forward to that day.
I bet.
It's
I
called
bet.
human.
Ouch, Connie.
Wow.
We never get caught up.
Whoa.
Story of my life right there.
Jeez.
And I'm not talking about financials, I'm just talking about life in general.
Okay.
Never get caught
Yeah, my voice.
Okay, Leanne.
Well, we had a finance meeting for October, and the minutes are in the of our meeting on SharePoint under finance committees. For those want to take a look. But he covered a lot of what I was gonna say. We looked through here real quick. I just wanted you to know that as treasurer, I do check the check registers for any missing checks. Do you do that too? Okay, I think, how about you?
No, I do not.
Okay. So Dottie and I do check the check registers for missing checks and unusual expenditures, as well as credit card statements. And someday we were gonna try to put some financial policies in place after he gets through.
After my funeral, right?
But once we, we'll meet with Andy and the governance committee and we'll try to figure out what needs to be done and go from there. Monthly bank reconciliations would be a key.
Wouldn't that be great? We almost got June's finished.
I know, that'd be great. We went and viewed what monument, what services we give, or what we pay for monument. And I was a little surprised to know that Epic EMR management fee, we pay $25,405, $50 a month. I was kind of shocked at that, but it is what it is. Then we pay extra for my chart, right?
It's
Connect.
Community Connect is Epic, is our version of Epic.
Right, but we pay extra if they use that, right?
We shouldn't pay extra for that.
Okay, well, there's a line
Combo.
item for it, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we shouldn't pay, that's all included with Epic.
In that blank line, there's nothing there. It's blank.
Yeah, I think, I think there's one charge in there. Cardiac heart monitor, EKG consulting, staff imaging, yearly maintenance, and, pharmacy. So those are the other things that, we are in agreement with Monument. We talked about a VFI. The staff, all the departments are up from last year at this time, except for lab, home health, acute care, clinic days, except for urgent care. And I think the girls' getaway thing, Nisha was great. I think it showed that it might have helped because we're up about 3 times more than what we were last year. So,
Yep. I'm sure we're gonna tweak it a little bit, so
yeah.
it'll be good.
And then Isha's working on making sure we get our MRI providers here more often, so we increase that revenue. Overtime has continued to raise over each month for this quarter. 7 of the travelers are at the manor, or 7 travelers, most of them are at the manor. Last year we had 38 residents, and this year we have 44. But staffing continues to be a problem for the manor, right? Days cash on hand, we talked about that. AR days are 68.8. It's a decrease of 2 days from last month, but an increase from May's 55.8. But I think Sandy's been able to work on some of those journal entries that correct. So, and then self-pay continues to rise as 71% of our AR. It represents 71% of our AR, which is over 90 days. Denial rates are up. 41% of our billing is Medicare as expected, and 33% is self-pay, which represents about 1.2 million being active on our books, and over half of that is 180 days old. We're changing credit collection companies to a Rapid City agency, hoping for better collection rates, and offering a VitaFi care credit, as well as our in-house uncompensated care to self-pay patients. So we're trying to reach people with better ways of paying, helping pay their healthcare needs. And then we're also training 2 people for insurance navigators?
Yep.
And reaching out to the community to educate.
Yep.
So that's all I have.
One other thing we talked about briefly is maybe that to me, I'm sure about me approaching the bank.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'd like to take, Verify and Care Credit is an $8,000 max. Not even go with them. We have some accounts a lot more than that. And before I went to the bank and we co-signed the loan, get our money, we get about 65% success rate. But again, we're on the hook for the money, but they give us money up front, we can utilize it. If they default the loan, we pay it back. But most people will pay the bank before they pay us because it goes with their credit rate. In other words, they pay us when they want to. So, they have to agree to it. I've talked to the bank already. He's said, well, stop, get the approval here before we do anything more like that. It's something I have to start that program too for the accounts over $8,000. It's up to y'all though.
You have a lot of accounts over $8,000.
Oh, yeah.
Which bank, William?
That's in here.
I'm at
Wow,
First
Northern or something.
Yeah.
First whatever.
That's it. That's right, mate. It's something, I wanted to see if y'all would let me proceed with that because a lot of accounts we have that way. So, again, we want to pull some ones back from the old company we used. We'll try to pull some of those back and try to do them too.
Do we need a motion to do that?
I think so.
William, just before they vote, maybe something to consider is maybe we should have Todd or somebody from the bank talk about what it looks like. Or
Actually, I talked to Todd. Todd and I talked about that.
Because it's important to understand that this is a recourse loan. So if they default 6 months into it,
right,
we pay the bank.
Yeah.
And so it has a different feel to it than the VitaFi and Care Credit, just so you're aware of that.
Would you want to invite Todd to the next meeting?
We could. Todd's I'm gonna talk to him. I met him this afternoon a little bit this evening. I talked to him again. But yeah.
Because
So
I think they
can-
need to know the interest rates and stuff too. That might be
That's
helpful.
what I
for
was
them.
wondering.
And then we
I was
can
wondering
vote.
about the interest rate.
Sure.
Next
That's no
month.
problem. No problem at all.
I do want to share a human interest related to some of what we're talking about. And this is an elderly woman with social security, limited social security. He was raising a grandson, whose grandson had a bill. And her friend called me and said, what'll I do? You know, and not even to do with the hospital board. I gave her I gave her Kelly's name. I don't know who it was, and Donna. She ended up talking to Donna, set up a plan, used one of them. I don't know, don't care. And was able to get a small amount and and we got our money and she could live with, I think it was like $60 a month. Yeah.
Nice.
And she was very happy and so it's gonna be a blessing in people's lives.
We redid the collection policy here already. The payments, they were just way crazy. We redid those so more people could do those too. So it was a good deal there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a small
good.
thing, but I think.
I love those kind of stories. Thank you.
That's a great story.
Yeah, thanks.
Question, in the minutes, is this the collection agency that you guys were looking to use?
The Collection Bureau in Rapid.
This the one? Just
Yes, yes.
for the record, I fired them in 2019 because they did an abysmal job with
Really?
collections. Their customer service was just awful. They couldn't even communicate with me well.
Oh, man.
So I fired them in 2019. I have the documentation here. So you may want to keep that in mind.
Yes.
And maybe look for someone else. If
Maybe
it's
we're
not
looking for a
totally-
new place. Yeah, no, it's not too late. We haven't signed anything.
My client was a very nice man, but he roped them in and they were just an awful agency to deal with.
True, but
So,
things could potentially change over 4 years.
Was that Jeff? We did that. He was Jeff. What name we have here?
Michael Berwick, that was the guy I
Different guy
dealt
now.
with at the time.
But it's worth checking into.
Yeah.
Yes, just that when I saw the name in the minutes, I said, let me go back and check on that, if it was the same one. And yeah,
That's good to
they
know.
were
Yes.
not.
They were touted as better than what we have today.
They were touted as a lot.
I bet.
bet.
And also, apparently we used them before. So,
Right, but that means that we also fired them before.
Right,
Or went to some, I mean.
Yeah.
right.
So.
Yeah, Sandy said they were better, but like,
Good news.
that's a lot of information that we didn't have. So thank you.
Yeah.
I think
I'm sure you don't
we
know if
table that and go back to the well.
Well, and I think Wyoming Hospital Association has several agencies that they endorse or whatever that are used around the state for collection agency.
We're not obligated to one.
No, they have several vendors that they, recommend or they put you in connection with hospitals that use them in the state. So you can call other hospitals.
But as a person who does this for a living too, I would fully encourage you to do as much as you possibly can to change processes on the front end. It's far more effective than pulling it out on the back end. So,
And there's room for that, for
there's
sure.
a lot of room for
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one question. I have
Go ahead,
one
Ann.
just comment. I understood that we were, on the travelers, we were to 6. Not that,
Oh,
yesterday.
it was.
We got
yeah,
updated.
We got updated.
From quality.
There's
Oh,
one more in OT.
Updated today,
There's
okay.
one in OT.
But they're
Oh,
leaving.
so-
There's 2 leaving this week and 1 leaving next week.
Okay.
So, is that right, Melissa? Yeah. What did you
Latest and
call it?
greatest.
Backing out? What
Whatever
I thought
you
Tuesday
do.
was
Angie used it. I forget. what
Much
she
different
said.
to today's.
Thursday. Exactly.
When they come back, is that what you're talking about?
No, when they leave.
Oh, when they leave.
I wrote it down in my notes. It made me laugh.
Okay,
Okay, Kim, you're up.
So MedStaff credentialing, we just have Sarah Beatty this month. And she's just a reappointment. There was nothing new or concerning in her part when we did it, so,
So we can vote for that now,
yes.
because they all looked at it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a motion to approve Sarah Bybee.
I'll move.
Second,
who's second?
Carrie. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
You can pass that
Now I
bad
can
boy back
sign.
down.
Go ahead, Kim.
Med staff. So it was a joint conference this last go around. But Joy had sent out an email for pharmacy regarding IV Phenergan. It was on a current back order. I don't know that I've seen anything that it's back in stock or anything.
So what are you using instead? It's backward.
We use IV Zoltan a lot.
And probably Compassing too.
So Jamie in radiology, they were still at the time working on their DVD past active scans. So they weren't ready to perform tests on patients at the time, but they've done how many? Once?
Three this week.
Three this week on outpatient. So that's up and going now. Carotids will be next once we get practice on that. Frontier Psychiatry, the delegated credentialing, it was approved by MedStaff to accept their delegated credentialing as the providers are only consulting via telehealth and not prescribing anything. Saves us the money to running them through our credentialing program, so. Nursing home report at the time, there's 43 census. They were waiting on the HVAC system. Still waiting on the HVAC system. Staffing is down and using some contract employees. There was one scheduled to come in November. Home health, permanent transitioning Heather to the director of home health. And they went through their annual survey and had 2 minor documentation issues, but that's been fixed and they're doing their documentation and we'll have it submitted, I think by the end of the month is what Carmen said, and hopefully that'll be all buttoned up and Lanny brought an article from the American Academy of Family Practice, just talking about the hepatitis B vaccine that is recommended for patients to the age 59. It was a population there that maybe didn't get the vaccine in that area. Credentialing, it's everybody. That's it for med staff. Quality, we went over our action queue incidences, which were still down again this month. No manner med errors, so that was great.
What'd you say?
No manner med errors.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Good go, Melissa.
Yeah.
Let me get staff. Patient satisfaction feed trail went live. It was either going to be Tuesday afternoon or yesterday morning. I think it was probably yesterday morning though, and I've been checking it throughout the day and there's surveys coming in, so that's nice. And we have our new bucket list system too, so I've been taking all the surveys if somebody's been recognized and recognizing them on bucket list, so the whole facility can see all the good things being
I
said.
answered mine today.
On feed trail.
How did you,
Did you like it?
It was great.
Yeah, good.
It was like 2 seconds and boom, boom, boom. And
Good.
Is there any insights from the feature ones you've got back that you could share? Anything good or bad?
From my patients.
Mhm.
They've all been good so far, except for one, but he said he doesn't recommend, or she doesn't recommend, healthcare, so he gave us a 0 for.
oh,
That's a biased opinion, so that's why we're.
So
they don't recommend healthcare?
yeah. So I have the option when somebody gives a bad review to go in and try to do a service recovery. I just marked it as service not recovered because I can't call that person and convince
Yeah.
them like, are you sure?
are you
But
sure?
it's kind of funny though.
Let me ask you this.
When they don't believe in healthcare, but when
But
they
they're
have sick,
here.
they go to
They went somewhere, they got a survey.
Haven't helped her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, the emergency room doesn't look so hot because of his one survey, but
Mhm.
it is what it is. So I just marked it service not recovered, and Betrell has a nice feature that if I recover, if I call and recover service, it'll give you an estimated how much money we recovered from that service, and then how much money we've also lost on those services not recovered. I'm not sure how it calculates that right now. I'll have to ask them more about it if we start getting some numbers in there, but it'll be interesting to see how much money we're
What's the name of that again?
Feed.
Feed.
Like
Oh,
feed.
feed.
Yeah.
Trail. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha, okay.
So far it's pretty user friendly. I like it. So I'll bring that up in quality. We'll look at it.
Is that the only one we do now?
What's that?
Is that the only one we're doing for surveys?
So we've got feed trail for everything but H caps and home health caps. Those two are on different vendors. And that's just because there's some DMS requirements.
I was gonna say,
Trail
yeah.
doesn't meet those requirements.
We got good rates on both of those plans.
Mhm. Current number of temp staff, there was 5 CNAs in the manor. 2 of them are dropping off this week, like we kind of talked about. There's 1 RN and 1 OT, and she'll be done next week. ED wait times were up just a little bit, about 20 minutes this month from last month. A lot of it when I was doing chart review was they had accepting provider, but that provider just wanted a little bit more testing before they were sent to them. So that was kind of a delay getting them out the door. The clinics, since the move is on hold, I decided I would do survey return rates now that I've got B-Trail live. Start tracking the survey return rates that way and see how that's going. Pharmacy, working on the 340B, and then pharmacy med errors with near misses, if any extra meds get packaged or something like that. The manor nurses are reviewing the meds every Thursday when they come to make sure that everything matches up like it should.
Great.
And that's it.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
I have nothing to add. It was a 30-minute meeting compared to an hour.
30-minute,
Yes.
really? Wow.
It's wonderful. I don't mean the short, I mean just everything's down, errors are down.
Quality's up and errors.
Yes, yes,
It seems like everything's self-sustaining, and it's like you're just there to observe.
right.
Because it's.
So
you guys are all doing your job and
wonderful.
everything. I mean, it's smooth. Everything's pretty smooth.
Much
now,
better
so
than it
Thank
was.
you guys.
Yes.
Kim's knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
She is.
Fantastic.
That's what I mean, not the length, this stuff that went on now. Maybe a little bit.
I am not saying a word.
No.
I'm gonna take the photos.
An 8 o'clock meeting.
It's
Yeah, it's an 8 o'clock meeting.
Old business. Let's start with the MRI update and then the contract.
So MRI, thanks to Keisha and Angie's hard work, we got DMS to give us a contract to move forward with that makes sense. You guys should have it somewhere in your packet. So essentially we got the price down from $750 to $550 for each. We have them coming in a reasonable amount of time to do our services every other week. And they didn't give us an out, but they at least are going to honor the old contract as far as we move forward. So I don't know if you remember from DMS's contract, it was from 2004, and you have a very brief window to elect not to continue on if you elect to continue on or not to continue on.
90 day.
Yeah, you have to give them 90-day notice, but you have to give them 90-day notice before the renewal date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some caveats there. But I think with what we're doing with them, we'll be able to get all our patients scheduled. They're actually giving us a couple more hours to get taken care of. And it looks to be very reasonable to move forward with. There is a glitch with Heritage. We'll talk about that more later, but we're going to push that off a little bit. So.
And the exclusivity is gone, right?
Yeah, the exclusivity is gone. So we can bring Heritage on whenever we want to.
So can I have did everybody read? Is it an addendum?
It's an addendum. It's
Right.
like 1 page long with like 3 or 4 lines. And Allison looked at it as well, and she's on there. Allison, do you have anything to add to that? DMS contract?
No, I would just say it's not that the exclusivity is gone. It's gone for a year.
Yeah.
Right, true.
And then you'll have the option to notify them if you don't want to renew, just somebody needs to calendar that so that you're aware.
Yeah.
I've already left Randy a note in black magic marker.
Great, thank you.
And
Thank
that's a
you.
90-day renewal too, that you have to do that.
You
90
have to do it
days
90
before.
days before the renewal date is the only time you can get out of that contract.
Which is October 31st.
Yeah, so it has to be done on August 31st, right? We did not get the contract from them, just in case you're wondering, because it's from 2004, we couldn't find it until September something. It was after the date we could have put a stop to it.
Yeah.
So you know.
Okay.
In case-
2004, that's a long time ago.
It is,
Yeah.
it is, but they were cool and gave us a coverage, so it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Can I have a motion to approve the addendum to the DMS contract?
I'll move.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ann, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, Sage Intech update.
Sage, do you want to do that, Piper, since I don't really?
So we still continue to meet with them weekly. They have all of our information uploaded on, you know, our employee list, inventory list, vendor list, GL. Now it's just for doing, they have built our production system, and so we're gonna start next week, Monday. We have a call, we're gonna do some training, and then do some testing for some verification of all the data that they have in there. And then hopefully we'll be up and ready to run 2 concurrent payrolls with our current system in December before we go live in January.
So is the integration go well
So far,
so far with Meditech and?
well, Meditech, the only integration will be from Epic to Sage, for the revenue, like it is with Meditech, because we're totally getting rid of Meditech. So the integration is from Epic for the revenue into Sage, and the Epic team has already built that, and they are starting to test that now since they got our environment built.
So you run them together until January and then Meditech's going.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you. Any questions?
They didn't have a contract, did they?
We did, but we did a 6-month extension with we can be done in January.
Okay, HVAC.
All right, I'm trying to get my PowerPoint to come up because I'm technologically not all that good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keisha.
Thanks, Keisha.
Well, remember, you're not logged in, I am.
Oh, crap. But I saved it to the desktop. If I can get to the desktop, maybe I
But
can find.
I'm logged
But it's
in.
hard.
Oh, yeah, it's your login, so it's not even my desktop. Ah, crud.
It's a good presentation though.
Yay, technology.
I thought I had
But you sent it
sorted
to
technology.
everybody, right?
I sent it to I updated it further though.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Let me email it to you, Ange, and you think you can pull it up if I do that?
Yeah, email it to me.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Gonna make more sense if I can show you the stuff though.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
It is a lot. There's a lot to, so it will answer in your box here shortly.
But one thing I can take off, go down the list to F, the CNA classes. You're gonna have a class in December, Kim?
Yes, so I just made a flyer today and I sent it to Charlotte. We're gonna get it posted. It's gonna be a little bit different of a class because we're gonna try to do it over Christmas break.
Okay.
So we'll have to, for clinical time, we'll have to do the full 12-hour shift. You have to have 75 hours of training for OBRA. So to meet that requirement in that 2-week period, we'll be right on the money if we do 4 12-hour shifts for clinical plus 4 days of education, because we'll have Christmas in there and then New Year's. So we're gonna try to get that done, catch some high schoolers and.
Awesome. And is there any update on becoming a training site of testing? I mean,
We still have to move it to over there, and we just haven't been able to get over there quite yet. So I'm hoping Monday, we can get over there and get some boxes started to move, so.
okay, great. Thank you. And Nick, did you notify school?
Yeah, I let our counselor know, and she was speaking to two girls. She was gone yesterday, so, but she was talking to them today, so I'll get back to you on that.
Do you want me to
Up to them.
send you that flyer? I can't remember.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, if you want to, you have an email, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and I'll send that out.
Is that upstairs?
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
Good, yeah,
Yeah, high school students.
absolutely. And I did a little scenic class, like expectation list that, whoever teaches it next, if it's Jesse or, whoever, will kind of gives them a little guideline of what the students should be learning, how the class should be run, how to help them get their temp license applied for, how to get them their testing applied and paid for. So
Okay.
kind of a little almost kind of thing.
Kim, when you said it's moving, what do you mean the testing?
We're gonna
site?
put it in the basement of the clinic.
Okay, just,
To be a testing site, you have to have separate area,
okay,
but you also have to have a bathroom within 20-second walk. And so the setup of the basement at the clinic is actually perfect because you can come in and you can either go right or left. So we could do one side skills testing, one side knowledge testing so that they're separate.
got it, thanks.
Allison, can you see that?
We can allow other people from other classes to test there too, right? It can be like a.
Yeah, so anybody.
Revenue from other.
Yeah, so, the only caveat is if I teach, I can't test them.
Oh, sure.
So we're gonna try to transition Jesse to be the CNA instructor so that I can be the RN test observer and we can make Newcastle a testing site. Right now, the closest one is Gillette, but with winter coming, they could test at home.
And we can do it once a year, don't they?
What's that?
They used to do it like once every 6 months or something. So it's hard to get in.
Yeah, and for a while there, when this new company took over, it was just Riverton. It was testing, which kind of prompted me to look into becoming a test site because Riverton is
A long way.
long ways, especially when winter comes.
Frequent are the classes, the schedule.
We've just been kind of doing them as needed right now. But we've come up with a new kind of plan for the classes. We have increased the rate of it a little bit. We were kind of undershooting our price between instructor time, books, licensing, and all of that stuff. And then to make people have a little bit of skin in the game, to make sure that they show up and they just don't ghost us, because that's happened a couple of times before, requiring a down payment or a deposit. Yeah.
It's just to cover that initial set of fees we have to pay.
And then you put that out to the public too, though, right?
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you see any use in Custer?
Well, we have notified Sundance and Lusk usually, or
Okay.
Custer, to see if they, the last couple times, they haven't said anybody from Sundance, but I didn't know.
There
if
were
you-
supposed to be some people from Sundance, but they never showed up. So,
And Lusk has never.
What is the
That's
cost?
not a good sign, so they can stay
so
there.
right now we've charged 1,000. And we were thinking about increasing it to 11.
So the down payment is $240 to cover our upfront fees, and then it's $1175, if I remember right, to cover the lecturer's time, and that's broken out over 4 students is what we figured. And the licensing fee and everything else. So that's all included in there. So when they get done paying that, they're done. Now, we set them up with a scholarship if they sign up with us. So if you want to come work for us, we waive those fees essentially, and you just agree to work for us for 6 months to a year, depending on circumstance. Because we want to get as many people through the door as we can.
Does that scholarship go to the foundation?
No, that's through us. Yeah.
Is that all?
I think so.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
All right, so HVAC land.
Oh, boy.
So as you guys remember from last time, we got a bid that was more than what we were expecting to spend on the entire thing. It was actually 1.77. And this is the bid laid out for you so you can see what they were talking about when they put it in there. It's a lot of money. This is, the bid, the second document they gave us with the grant fund. I added the grant funds in there. So the total with their contingency was originally, on this document was $2,091,000. Okay. That had a lower contingency on it than the original document. And I think they were saying that they were taking away some of the contingency because we had a bid now, so we probably didn't need as much. With everything getting as more expensive as it is, I'm a little leery of going down to a $90,000 contingency. So I ran it again with the original contingency of essentially 190,000. And so that's that 2.1 million or 2.2 million really figure you see there. We have grants approved at a little over 1 million, so 1.1 million essentially. With their minimal contingency, we're looking at 991,000. With the original contingency, if we'd have to dip in it, we're a little over 1 million for our side. Now, in the background of all this, we have the vendor, the person who put the bid in, working with the vendors to try and get us slightly lower cost equipment, trying to find places to save us money, trying to look at other ways to do it and stay within the parameters of what we asked them to bid to save us some cash. On the other side, I went back to the state of Wyoming and asked them if we can get a second grant because we have inflation and stuff like that in motion. I got an email back from Eric Woolley, the president of WHA, late last night. He said he's actually reached out twice this week to the person in charge and hasn't heard back from them yet. So I don't have an answer on that. So we have quite a few things still up in the air. We have two potential significant cost saving issues in the air. Let's go to this next slide. So one of the things on this, I was trying to run like how much we'd have left after we did this. And so if we took the 991 out of what we have in the bank right now, we'd be at 3,074,000. And then looking at what the manor does in business, on the budget that's made, we have a little over $1 million in profit, which is nice. But on the budgets that's made, it doesn't account for all of the costs that really should flow to it. Like there's not as much maintenance, there's not as much administration, and other things, but there are sections of that. And so that's why I had to give a range of like 600 to 1.4 million. I know that's a big range, but it's really tough for me to flesh out what's on there, how much it could go. And I didn't want to make it all doom and gloom. I didn't want to say, oh, we're 1.4, because really there's some stuff in there that may be part of the other parts. But that would cut out, it would potentially make the manor run into negative, which I don't know that it does. And that's part of the reason I definitely wanted to soften it. But we're not really making $1 million a year in the manor. Is the point of that? We're not. Yeah. But I think knowing what we're looking for in the future really impacts the decisions we make now, right? I looked at the staffing requirements. I don't know if you've paid attention to that, but their CMS is talking about increasing the staffing requirements for skilled nursing facilities and making it like RNs 24 hours, 0.5 RN. I forget how many RNs is it per patient.
0.55.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have like 3 RNs each shift.
Yeah.
We don't even have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We do.
I think they're getting a lot of pushback though.
Oh, yeah.
What did you figure the census at with those revenue numbers?
Those were last year's budgeted. That's actual budget from June 2023.
Budget, but not actual census, but
Yeah,
just actual
it's year to date
census
actual. Yeah. Yeah.
13,
Mhm.
15,
Yeah.
a lot of beds.
Yeah.
I think they were.
And so there's not census data on it, but there's room to go up.
I would bet the manor makes no.
Yeah. And I think the goal of the manor isn't to make a profit though. But we should be as close to breaking even as humanly possible. And if we could squeak $100K out here and there, that would be fantastic.
But we'd like to know though.
Yeah, you need to know. So back to the RN rules, looking at the CMS's proposal. So I went on CMS's website and read through it. It looks like as a rural facility, we'd have 3 years if they pass it to actually start staffing it to the minimum requirements and 5 years to get to the more strict requirements. So we have at least a 3-year horizon if they were to pass it tomorrow. So just as you're thinking through this, return on investment, risk benefit ratio, that's what we're looking at. And in that 3 years, are they going to get enough pushback because every single SNF is going to close that they stop it? I bet. Urban and suburban environments are going to get hit right away. So they're going to push back mightily, and we'll have the benefit of their leading the charge to get it all changed before we have to actually implement anything. So there is some silver lining there.
But we have to keep in mind that the shortage is everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And it's been impacting everyone.
Right.
Lead shut theirs down,
Yep.
Custer shut theirs down.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of scary.
it is.
The bottom line is we need to do something about the HVAC.
Right.
Yeah,
And how if we phase it, whatever, something needs to be done.
totally. And so here, actually, I'll skip what I have to say and I'll go to what our architect essentially had to say. So I took this out of his email and asked him for options. And I just took it verbatim. I probably should have trimmed it down, but I wanted you to be able to see what he had to say. One of the things he does mention, though, is that the justification for the grant was improving the indoor air quality. So if we don't do that, we're going to be in violation of the grant and they'll want their money back probably. That would be like dire worst case scenario.
And we already got our architect fees out of that, right?
Some of them, yes. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah. So, and then Ron, I don't think if I'm making a slide with what Ron had to say. No, that's the pharmacy. Okay. So the options that I came up with, kind of just thinking through it, or we proceed and just hope the second grant comes in and we get some decreased costs. We proceed if the grants come in and we get decreased costs and it's under a certain figure, like spending 900,000 seems pretty severe at this point in time. We roll the dice and come up with new plans, get it rebid. We delay the project to the clinic moves and hopefully our financial situation is better. Nothing. And as I said, there's not a bias. Like in talking to Ron, we're at duct tape and bubblegum stick and stuff like that right now. And I asked for an estimate from Ron if the digital controls went out, because that's apparently the most sensitive part of the system right now. And he said it'd be $400,000 to $500,000 to replace that if it went today.
And that's just fixing.
And that's just getting what we already have back up and running enough to keep limping it along.
Do you know how long it'll take before the second grant?
I don't.
Okay.
Eric is saying any day we could hear.
Oh, okay.
He-
So
It's been a while.
So,
Yeah.
but just, I mean, everybody, all the projects everywhere are asking for more money.
Yeah.
And we are just hearing, like Alan is hearing it every day from various, I mean, so it's not just hospitals, but it's
The benefit.
every project that the state has tried is coming in double. Just.
The benefit we may have is on the clinic, because we're trying to rework that grant. We're going from an $800,000 grant to hopefully a $300,000 grant, because I asked them to cover the entire thing with grants. But because we're surrendering about $500,000, I'm hoping they'll take that into account and give us some grace. Because we're really looking for ways to not necessarily just spend taxpayer dollars. We're trying to be responsible the best we can.
What about the 1% tax? I mean, is that something that we could?
But that's not right away.
No, I know, but I mean, it could benefit after we work on it a little bit. I don't know how long it takes. Do you know how long it takes to get that going?
No, I don't. I can
Is
take
it
a guess.
is it a vote thing? I mean,
Yeah,
is
it
it
has to be on the
ballot
ballot,
in
which
November?
there's,
Is it a November vote or?
Yes.
It could be a May vote.
yeah,
couldn't
but
it?
it has to be,
Yeah,
it would have to go through many, many layers.
Yeah, I don't see that happening quickly.
Yeah.
And
That's the
the
downside.
people's
It's not
mood on
bad.
property taxes,
Yeah, I know. And the water.
So the deadline looming in the back of all this is the company that gave us the bid, extended us to December 1st, not June, December 1st. Because they're working on stuff for us too, and they haven't got it back to us yet. So they're being gracious, and I think that's really appreciated. Like,
So they're not totally waiting on us.
no, because they're trying to get back to our architect with like, hey, I think I can get something here, and they've reached out to their vendors to see the absolute best they can do. It seems to me that everybody working with us is actually working with us to do the best they can. I don't get the impression from anybody in this chain that they're dogging us. So,
The
but
chance of the second bid is pretty much out the window.
yeah, so second bid isn't going to happen unless we redo the project. or if you want to drop this bid and try again, but this guy's not gonna hold out for a second bid. And,
Well, besides that, we've already sunk a ton of money in the architect.
yeah.
So we'd have to start over.
Mhm. Yes, you would. Every one of these options unfortunately has significant pros and cons, with emphasis on the cons. I wish I could paint a more clear picture to help steer you. I know that's part of my role.
We put that, we did put the money in, but originally those 3 projects were supposed to be 1.2 million. And now we just got the one project that's gonna be $1 billion. So that is significant.
Yeah. And I
You know,
just anticipate
the
projects.
deadline, the December 1st deadline,
Mhm.
it means what for us?
So the December 1st deadline means after that deadline, that person who put the bid in can walk away from their bid. They can put in a different bid at a different amount.
Probably higher.
Yeah, or they could stick it out and they say, hey, you know what? I took a long time getting you guys information. It's totally cool. I'll give you longer.
I mean, because we won't have another meeting to vote by December 1.
No, but what Judd had proposed is that, it's the number 2, right?
Yeah, so you vote yes if it comes in, if we get a second grant or whatever, it comes under a certain dollar figure that you're comfortable with, and then we proceed. And then we could say, okay. And if it doesn't, then maybe we need to talk about going back to the drawing board and looking at a different project that'll get our needs met, not quite as robust, that is a little more affordable for this point in time.
I don't think anybody wants to wait till it crashes.
No, we've been holding our breath all this time.
Yeah.
No, it's winter.
Right.
That would be a disaster.
Right now.
And Ron is legitimately worried. Like,
I know, he's been worried since
Well,
I've been on the board.
We put it off for several years.
Yeah.
You know, just the planning phase is taking a full year.
yeah.
So that's what are we gonna do?
It also impacts admissions because we're trying to keep rooms open to swap patients over, because essentially the first phase is gonna shut down the whole secure unit. So I have to swap everybody from that unit over to the other unit, plus move the people who are currently in that one. So we only have limited rooms to move those people to. I mean, if we did have more staffing, we could. More people in.
But then if we're full house, where do we put everybody?
Right.
And we're doing it.
She's already full over there, so people waiting to come over here then. So it's kind of a round road.
Mhm.
Right.
So what are we voting on?
So to make a motion that says that if the grants, if the grants come and the decreased cost projections comes through, and that the out-of-pocket is less than a certain figure, then we give them the go-ahead to go with it. And if it doesn't, if it's more, or if it stays the same, then we have to come back in December and decide what to do. That's the proposal.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, wait, is it number 2? Is that what you just said?
Number Connie, if you're gonna make the motion,
Number
what's
2.
what's the number?
So
Yes,
What's the number?
Do you want to go with the 500K? or-
500K, I mean, that seems reasonable.
That reasonable to you?
I think so.
Is it?
Well, I think
so.
I think we could get a $300,000 to $400,000 grant. Maybe I'm full of crap. I have no. This is my. I'm guessing. Like I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get a grant for inflation. And the WHA, I know was me a solid because something they did. So I'm hoping that it comes through. And then I'm hoping that our contractor can knock 100K off, or maybe 150, 200K. You know, and maybe it should be 700K. It all depends on how much you're comfortable with. I put 500 on there as just man, if I was making this decision, 500 is where I would feel comfortable, but I don't know if it's realistic. I can't promise that. But I know like going higher than that out of the bank account makes me and William.
So Connie, you moved.
I did.
So what figure do you want to put? 500?
Yep. Roll the dice. Isn't that the number 3? No.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there discussion?
So I'm curious what you're thinking, Carrie.
I'm thinking it's never gonna come in under 5. I'm thinking we're
So
setting
we're just
ourselves
gonna
up for a
have
special
meeting.
meeting. Special meeting.
Wait.
Yeah.
That special meeting would have to come before, I'm sorry. Carrie,
Go ahead.
That special meeting would have to come before December 1st, obviously.
Right.
Or we could ask for another extension. So
And depending on if they get back to you in time, then we can see if we can push it back to the next meeting or whatnot. So.
yeah,
Sorry.
That's what I said, roll the
No
dice.
worries. I don't think it's gonna come in less than that, but I really, I can't fathom spending that amount of money when we're clearly losing money hand over fist. But I can't see not doing it either because we're just
we
setting
either have
ourselves.
to.
We have to. I mean, we have no choice. It's a terrible
It's
it's a terrible
life
thing,
safety
but
situation.
we can't put 43 people at risk.
No.
We
Absolutely.
can't. So.
So do you want to increase it?
I'd love to say that it would come in at 5, but I don't think it will.
I guess if it doesn't, then we'll just have to,
Wasn't that part of that, your grants, right?
yeah, that's with your grants.
Yeah.
If you get some.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, it kills me to even say we have to spend the money, but we
I
really
know it.
do because you can't put that many people at risk and we can't. The other alternative of the HVAC going down is unfathomable and it will cost even more money and put people at risk. And
Well, we can
I
band-aid
don't
it
know.
for, 5 to 7, but then you got.
Well, we've already
I know
band-aided it and there's gonna come a point where
And you
you
got that
can't
money,
band-aid
right.
it and we're gonna end up
We're
in
just
a
wasting that money.
crisis
We're
and you
wasting the
can't
money.
take that.
So it's better to go with new and.
Which is why, like I said, it's gonna hurt my mouth to come out with these words. I think we have to increase your motion to 7.
So you're gonna amend it?
But if
Amend
it
the
goes
motion?
to at least
I'm not-
700,000, we're approving it.
It's up to the board, but
We're in.
You wanna,
Mine can die for lack of it, and then you can propose a new one.
you can amend yours.
yeah, you can be amended. Well, let's vote on the 5. All in favor of 5?
Oh, no,
Well,
just
you
amend
can't
it.
do that,
You have to-
yeah.
You have to amend it first.
Right, you do.
Robert's
Yeah.
rules, you have to amend it. So I move we amend, oh, I can't say those words. Sorry.
Okay, so. Bother me today. 700,000.
So what, let's think here. So if we don't, say it doesn't come under 500, okay, if it doesn't, we have a special meeting,
Yeah,
correct?
and raise it.
And then we can raise it from there
Or-
or see
or
if
we
I can get more information
And maybe it might be
before the
less.
special meeting.
Like I said, we're rolling the dice, taking the
Yeah.
vote.
But it's gotta be just before December 1st. I mean,
Right,
so
right,
as
right.
long as we're all willing to have a special meeting, correct?
Yeah,
Unless they get an extension.
Unless we get an extension or other good news comes in or worse news, I guess. But,
We know more.
Right.
Well,
we
better,
would
better
know.
news
So-
gives an approval period.
Right.
Worst news gives us a new meeting.
and they're working on more figures. Just maybe make this up. They are working on more figures for the other plans, so that we'll know exactly how much money each of those are. So
I just feel like we don't have enough information to make this
I-
in a way that makes us all feel at least a little bit more comfortable. At least that's my opinion. So.
Well, fair enough. then.
yeah,
We
no.
can just leave it as it is.
Yeah,
and
not do
just
anything.
roll the
Yeah.
dice with a special meeting.
yeah, that's
Have
what
more
I mean, I'm willing to
information,
do that
that's
all.
fine.
me too.
So get rid of the.
So
Your
your
motion,
motion, kind
yeah,
of motion.
You second it,
I'm in the
and we can vote no.
Okay, so vote.
No,
It sounds like we don't need an amendment. We're just gonna vote.
we're just gonna leave it at.
I know, but I made
Yeah.
a motion and she seconded
Yeah,
it.
we got it.
So it's on.
It's on the floor and we're gonna vote on it now.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
So
what I'm
that we're
saying.
doing Ann's
So what are we
amendment.
doing?
Yeah.
7 or
No,
5?
or hang on, no.
There's
There's no
either way you can
amendment.
say
There's
no.
no amendment. We're gonna vote on the 5. That's
Okay.
kind of. So,
We'd have a meeting.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we passed it for those terms.
for 500K. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. What is this? Pass this around.
This is just for
Thank
later.
you. Oh, this is for your thing. Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
Got it, Jen. Printer update.
Printer update. So The printer company says we're not a governmental entity, so I have passed this off to Allison. She should be working on a rebuttal, hopefully, to the printer company. Yeah, she said they tried to say we're just a nonprofit. And we don't fall under the rules. So
Okay, swell. So more to come.
more to come on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more to come. So we're still battling them.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give it up like a dog with a bone.
Okay, the monument, updated the monument contract. Everybody got that? Does anybody have any questions about it? The only thing I wanted to propose is that we add a little ditty to it that says something about educational opportunities be offered to the folks at the WCHS. And Piper told me that they do that now, but we don't see them because she gets the emails and it's mainly clinical. So maybe, I understand they used to give us a list. Is that true?
So the education department, if you go on the intranet now, they don't send out the list anymore,
Okay.
but if you go to their, we have access to their intranet, and if you go to their educational offerings, all their education department puts a schedule on there. And because we used to use them for like ACLS, TNCC, but now we have our own instructor, so we don't use them for those things. But like the cardiac symposium or the infection control stuff, they do send those out, and we send those out to the staff and medical staff. So
Could we print that off and just give it to the department?
I was gonna say, do we need it as part of the contract or is it just offered for anyone?
it's offered.
So we
As-
don't need to add it, is that what you said?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know as we need to add it.
That's fine. As long as it's been ongoing, right? So is there any way, if you send it to the staff, can you send it to the board too? That'd be great. So in the light of that, then,
What about 340B? Is that under pharmacy?
Huh?
I think pharmacy is part of the services that we pay for is pharmacy.
And they do help us
Okay.
as much as they can. They're not Wyoming licensed, so they can't do some stuff,
Oh, okay.
but they do help us.
Well,
Actually, quite a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need to add that. That's already covered.
No, they're doing it.
right, so I sent you out a definition of what all these things are that we pay for, or we have available to us. And, you know, as I said, thanks to Piper for helping me with that. So are there any questions? Well, if there are no
I make a
questions.
motion that we accept the management agreement with Monument.
Okay. And a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Any discussion, further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, perfect. Allison, I'll get with you to see what we need to do next with Thomas. It's probably not much, but
Yeah, sounds good.
thank you. Okay, next on the social media policy.
Social media policy. So we have people putting stuff on Facebook, our website, etc. The goal of the policy was, and you guys should all have it right, so I'll see it.
Everybody has it and the definitions.
Perfect. The goal of the policy is to set it up so that they don't have to ask permission for stuff, but they also, for every single thing, but they have to ask permission for things that might get us in trouble. Like we have to be very cognizant of what we put on social media because we can't. Once it's on your net, it's there forever, right? So the purpose behind that was to kind of set up some criteria, a set of rules so that we don't ever get in trouble.
Is everybody aware of the policy?
Melissa, I had a question, you know, the banner pictures that they take. Do you
Yeah.
guys get someone to sign up on those?
I believe upon admission, there is a photo release that they sign. It's either yes
Okay,
or
so
no.
it's, I didn't think you had, I guess that was my question. Do you have to sign it every time?
No, it's just in their admission packet.
I think home health, we used to have to do it every time, didn't we?
Still do. Well, this policy will give clarity to everybody, especially for those that were posting things and didn't really know.
So is there a new form now then too with this policy or?
I did not make a new form. If you want me to, I can, but
I just was wondering if it was.
yeah, I would set it up for guidance purposes.
Right, and it won't look like it did in the email I sent you because Janet's gonna make it pretty.
How many people have access to post?
So just
No.
3 right now.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you meant.
So
If it's on
filters through those
Facebook.
three, everything.
Yeah,
The website access is limited.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah.
And I think as far as posting even on our
I got
Facebook,
that.
that's limited too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the 3 people we have, I'm not worried about. It's if somebody changes.
Right.
So you should build a policy to make sure.
So can I have a motion to?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Karen.
Do you have, does the policy include a double check or are people just allowed to? Just those people, they're allowed to post without a double check?
So they have to clear anything significant through the CEO. There's a set of approved captions that get put underneath pictures or like say Happy Merry Christmas or whatever. But outside of those, they have to ask permission from CEO, COO, somebody to say, oh shucks, that's gonna get us in trouble for X, Y, or Z.
Well, that's what we did that in the Republican Party just for exactly what you were talking about. We wrote it into our policy that it had to be signed off or checked by the chair or the vice chair, just in case we had a turnover in people. So it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, the things that we didn't want to do, because the manor posts quite a few pictures of just like happy birthday. We didn't have to sign off on those. That's why we tried to
Fair enough.
be as fair as we could be.
Second paragraph says all web postings will be pre-approved by the CEO, COO, or CFO prior to posting unless it meets pre-approval protocols. That's what you're talking about, right, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Well, I make a motion that we accept the social media policy. That's written.
Second,
I'll second.
any further discussion? All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's approved. Okay, new business. Before we start on this, I have permission to tell everyone that unfortunately Angie is leaving. And she will be done on December 7th, but she's taking a new opportunity, a new adventure. So, we're desperately gonna miss her.
I didn't
know.
think it was allowed.
No,
That's what I said.
I tried to nix it too.
but we're really happy for you, Angie.
Thank you.
Not really, but we are.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Words. No,
But
Thank you.
and thank you for all you've done for.
And what is your
15
new
years
adventure?
is,
I took the county health manager job. Public health.
That is a new adventure.
but tell them why, because you're gonna make it better. Right?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
I don't think any of us have a doubt. You're gonna
No.
make it better.
you're gonna be a rock star.
Thank you.
Just be ready. for
Even though I
training.
just saw the commercial. I just saw the commercial where Billy Idol says, you're not a rock. But after 15 years, you deserve like the best kudos and
Thank you.
thank you so much.
We'll miss you.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. Okay, 340B.
We're in a holding pattern.
Let's beat that dead horse for a while.
And we're moving on, right?
And we're moving on.
Yeah.
So is there any reason why, is it all the same old reasons that was?
Yeah, it's still the same old reasons.
We're still waiting.
We need to get the docs on our cost report.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Jana is going to talk about a new healthcare proposal.
In addition to the weekly printed version of the newsletter journal, we also promote our community and share important information on our award-winning website, newslj.com, and in our weekly email newsletter, Nuke Now. We also connect with readers through various social media platforms and invite you to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can even take a look at a recent meeting of the City Council, School Board, or County Commission on our YouTube channel. We do hope that you will go to newslj.com and subscribe today, and we look forward to making all of our great content available to you. But regardless of your level of support, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing your part to preserve a free and independent local press.
Jana is going to talk about a new healthcare proposal. That's the papers that you just got.
So I'm just gonna stand, go weird over there. So this first page, just kind of shows, we sat down with,
our broker, Gallagher. And they're anticipating, of course, increases every year for premiums on healthcare or health insurance. So this actually started before I came on board, but they were looking at switching to Blue Cross Blue Shield, which will probably save us with their conservative estimates, at least 500,000. They're thinking maybe more. So that's what this first page is they're anticipating we spent $1.7 million on premiums. And we're anticipating if we didn't change anything, it's going to go up to 2.3 million. I know.
Sorry.
You saw every time I talk about it. But anyway, this next page is the projected savings. He did send a whole slideshow, but I could not repeat all the numbers that he tried to tell us. Basically, it comes down to a few high claimants last year on our policy. We can't help that. It happens every year. But making a switch, Blue Cross, any insurance is going to give you a good rate just to get their business. So it might be the time to move right now. That's what I heard.
And this is moving away from our self-insurance?
It was still self-insured. This is just the plan administrator would be Blue Cross instead of Allegiant.
Okay.
That's a why. That's good.
So it would be switching a different network. So employees will have a bigger network of providers. Blue Cross is well known throughout the state. So it will be a bigger network. But that also comes with headache of changing. You know, you go to the doctor and you have to give a new insurance. All the plans are going to change or not change. They're all going to stay the same. Same deductibles. We will still have 3 different plans, the HSA, and then the 2 other plans, which is also shown on the second page. So all the plans will stay the same.
How much did you say you saved? 500 or more a year?
At least, and there's 2 other programs that we could probably take advantage of. Implementing a Cardinal Specialty Drug Program. And then a Medicare education plan that they also are anticipate additional savings, but then they're being pretty conservative. They never want to tell you if you're going to save $1 million and then you don't. So,
And the Cardinal program is currently dependent on 340B, which we don't have up and running yet, so I wouldn't count on that yet. That would be a future state.
Should be awesome.
So it would be a big change. I mean, employees will have to change, you know, give their new insurance cards. Blue Cross Blue Shield is pretty user friendly. You can get an app on your phone that has your ID card. They'll still send plastic ones in the mail, but it is pretty user friendly. Bigger network. And we'd be saving money.
Well, they save money too, the employee, right? Because there's no increase, you said, right?
I didn't calculate any changes to, no increase in their premiums, so it would all stay the same.
Looks like there's an increase in 24.
There is an increase for dental. And the next 2 pages are dental insurance.
Yeah, I see it.
So the green one is if we make no changes and we just absorb the increase, which is only going to be about $900.
And who's
per
the
year.
company for this?
Delta Dental.
Delta.
It's about the only covered. Wyoming has.
He's good coverage, yeah.
Their fee to transfer over? I mean, from one to the other, I mean, to move to this plan?
It's all incorporated.
All
with the
incorporated.
savings, so
Okay.
we still have administration fees and stuff like that, but it's all incorporated in that savings estimate.
So basically, our vote would be to move to Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I'll make that motion.
What is the one you're moving from?
Allegiance.
Allegiance.
Got it.
So
That was-
Connie, you're moving.
Have a second?
One second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I just want to ask Piper if that's okay.
Yeah, it's a good, I mean, it's gonna save us some money and the employees money.
Okay.
And it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, so
Yeah.
it's a larger network for the employees.
And it's not really a big deal to change cards.
No, they usually, every year they get new cards anyway.
Right.
Do you think the employees will go for this?
I think so. It's gonna save them money. There's not a 33% increase in their premiums.
Right.
Blue Cross of Wyoming, it's still you're able to take advantage of the nationwide Blue Cross network as well.
Is the school district on that? Yeah.
So we're on.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, the school's
we
on it,
done?
the refineries on the
Okay.
Blue Cross plan.
City was on it.
Yeah.
So they
They're
did-
great. They're fabulous.
So motion's on the floor, second.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's passed.
For the dental, right, those other two, the green and blue sheets. It's only a $900 difference per year for us if we just absorb it. Or we can pass the increase on to the employees, which is the blue sheet.
$900 a year per patient or per employer total.
So our rates are increasing anyways. But if we absorb the increase from the employee, it would be an extra $900.
Flat for the year. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not 900
No,
per
it's,
employee.
no, but it's the total increase in the premium is $34.31. If you absorb the employee's cost, it's an additional $932 for a total increase of $4,364, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So without if we don't have the employees, then we're increasing 3,400. If we do have the employees, we're 4,300.
This is an option? Or is it, everybody gets it?
It's an increase in premium from Delta Dental. It's
But
going
I'm
up no matter-
asking, I mean, is this something all the
Yes,
employees
they have
sign
to
up?
elect. for the
Yeah.
dental.
Okay, yeah.
And it says right there how many covered people we have, 46 for single, 36 for employee plus one, and 26 for family. It's on the last column.
But this thing gives part-time employees a raise.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. The site update.
Hold on, do you want us to absorb the $900 or you want us to pass on the $900 to the
Increase
employees?
To the employees.
Is it a basic $900?
Yeah,
Or
it's
is
just
it
$900
more?
for the year, right? Total. So to us, it's not a whole big thing. To the employees, it's a couple bucks.
Yeah, so our cost is gonna increase either three.
Our
Thir-
cost is
34,
gonna
31.
increase 3,400 no
Right.
matter what.
Right.
If we choose to eat the cost for the employees, it's an additional 900 for a total cost
932.
increase of $4,000.
Right. Okay.
It's a lot less than the HVAC.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Okay, let's have a motion for the absorption.
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Is this for everything?
This is inclusive of the $932 for the dental.
Right, right.
Yeah. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now the site.
All right, so site contract. I wrote one before. Nick didn't like it. He wrote a different one, which is a lot more legalese, which sounds fine. The gist of it's still the same. They pay $15 per hour per room that they want to rent. And then that allows them to upscale and downscale as they want to. Of a side note, I reached out to them and asked them if they would help us with EAP if we decided we want to do it, the Employee Assistance Program. And they said that is something they already do, and they would happily contract with us as we move forward to do that if we want to in the future. So along with Matt Shahan from, just to deviate for a second, Campbell County saying that he maybe thought he could do it future state, they're saying they could do it. So I think we have a couple options to help get our employees counseling if we want to as well, but that's an aside.
Is it yearly?
It is yearly. It has a 60-day or 90-day out with no cause, which is what I like in every single contract. The site providers seem very kind and know what they're doing.
But that is not part of this contract. Are you suggesting that it should be?
No, I'm not. I'm suggesting EAP get added in future state once we work out details. I don't have enough details from them. They said that's something they're willing to consider and have done.
So we can make that an addendum sometime.
Yeah, sometime later.
So this is with.
The Volunteers of America,
America,
the
okay.
people that used to work there, they're out going on their own. They're now Care Solutions or something like that.
Like
Yeah.
that.
And they're gonna
So are they
contract
building a
for
new
building?
Our clinic area.
Yeah,
Volunteers of America is, yeah,
Next to public.
yeah,
Which Angie will look out the window and see.
yeah, that's the new.
For
that's
4
the new
hours,
mental
right?
health building.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
4 hours, but they may upscale it later if they want to, and if we agree. Like,
And every day or a month?
no, once a month.
4 hours a month.
Why they need our room.
Yeah.
They're building a
Oh.
new building.
This is separate from Volunteers of
Yeah,
America.
okay.
They've left Volunteers of America.
Yeah, but they want to continue providing care.
So did you guys all review this?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to pass this contract?
I so move.
Okay, second.
I will.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, what's the name? What's their name now?
Care Solutions, I believe, is part of this.
I can't remember.
I'll look it up for you, Jane. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's passed.
Oh, Center for Solutions.
Yeah, Center for Solutions, my bad.
There you go.
I knew it was some kind of solutions.
Okay, home health update.
Heather, home health update.
She's asleep.
I know nothing.
How's it going?
Fabulous.
Good.
It's great to know nothing.
Yeah, you have room to take more patients?
Do, we're starting, we were kind of slow at the beginning of the year. We're starting to get more admits. We're fully staffed. We took on 2 new nurses. Sarah Gregory, who was the public health nurse, is now a home health nurse, and then we have Alyssa Hauser, and they're doing phenomenal. I've been the director for a week and a half. So I'm learning all the billing and all that good stuff, and we're working really hard with William and that area to try to get some of the financial stuff figured out and the billing stuff figured out, and working with Epic and Chris and all of them. We're in Epic, and yeah, it's going good.
Did you say fully staffed one more time?
No, you don't want to jinx it.
Nope.
I learned not to ask.
That's awesome.
So, and I know Seth is doing lifelines like nobody's business. He's, I think, put on probably at least this month, I think 7 or 8 new lifelines.
Oh,
So,
is he gonna do the tree of them again?
yeah, he's got all that stuff worked out, and he's gonna start delivering all the little donation slips, to Upton, I think next week, and then he'll put them out, I think, either this week or next week. I think after areas and start getting all the companies' donations and stuff.
Great, good job. Well, thank you. Okay, security update.
So. She made a face. So we got a proposal. Did it get to you guys? I can't remember if I said, okay, good. I worked on a couple of things this week. I apologize. So I got a proposal from Jeff, who works on EVS here. He used to run security department at another place. And he feels that we can probably staff for between $19.50 and $20.50 an hour overnight shifts. I think that's probably low. So I built in the plan up to $22 an hour with various costs associated with it. I'm just keeping this in front of you for consideration. I think since we have HVAC and other things right now, I'm not asking anybody to spend money.
Good.
All I'm doing is I'm keeping it in front of you and giving you ideas on how to approach it as time goes on. In the meantime, what I've done is I've talked to the police chief and he's doing more drive-bys. I've asked him to have the officers come in from time to time. I don't know if that's actually happened yet.
They are, and the nursing is loving it.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
Several times a night, they come in.
Yeah. So I tried to use the resources we already had. Furthermore, I reached out to Campbell County EMS and asked them if they wouldn't mind stationing here. They just bought a house a little bit ago. Otherwise, they would have said yes right away. But they're kind of talking through it with their their administrative team to see what they can do about being here more too, to help out with our security as well. Because if we're all together, then we're all safer, right? So looking for cost-effective ways to get her done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna squeeze in my additions here. First thing I want to tell you is I spoke to Ken Pitlock, who is the head of the ministries in town, and asked him if we could rotate ministers through.
Minister Society.
Yes, through our meetings to give Ann a break. And they actually met on Tuesday night, and he said there's several people that are very interested, but they want to wait until after the holidays. So I said, fine. So you get one more shot. But I appreciate that a lot. Anisha, we already did.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, one more thing. They're also going to consider coming to the ethics meeting. They thought it was a good idea.
Because I had asked what.
We had someone. and they
yeah.
didn't come.
Well, I had all from the ethics committee, I had already asked, just lost his name, put it in front, the pastor at the Baptist, and he said he would be happy to come and was planning on coming to the next meeting.
Okay, do you know what's his name?
Benjamin Roberts.
Yes,
Right?
thank you, yes, Ben Roberts, thank you.
Okay, because Ken said that he would also be happy to come.
Okay.
So you got options, which is great. We just have to tell him when the next meeting is. Which I have no idea. January, that's her.
Yeah.
December, okay.
It'll show up here.
Okay, that's great. Let's see, that is first Wednesday.
So December 13th.
Just what happened.
Yes, December 13th.
There wasn't anything else on this one, right?
No,
I
just
don't know why I put this one.
all right. I think we just want to make sure we voted.
Okay, then the other thing is that Randy is in transit. He's on his way. He's very, very excited. And so we're gonna have a hospital meet and greet for him on Monday at 10 o'clock. It's usually for a half hour. I made it an hour. Just to make it a little bit longer, but
What are you serving?
muffins and juice.
Not cinnamon rolls?
No.
I wasn't paying attention. What day did you say?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday,
I'm in 3 days from now or whatever.
Correct. Right, but we're gonna do a brief meet and greet here. Alexa is coming from the newspaper to take pictures and do a little interview.
Somebody else too.
Oh, and Jana.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. It's gonna be a meet and greet for Jana too. We put two on the billing. Anyway, Charlotte's gonna Charlotte put the email out already. Charlotte's gonna print the picture, the announcement and hang it around, and so we look forward to that. That'll be fun. And then
And it's at the board or the.
it's in the cafeteria, so hopefully you guys can make it sometime. Then we'll hang on one second, Mike. Then we're gonna do the senior center meet and greet after Thanksgiving. So I'll make sure you get more notice.
It's asking outsiders as well.
I don't see why not. Sure, absolutely.
I got to meet him.
I know you did. No,
Yeah,
that's,
and I'm sorry I'm going. I wish I could stay.
I would not tell anybody not to come, but it's basically for the hospital. But if you want to come, you're more than welcome.
Absolutely.
Show up and survive through one of our meetings. You ought to be.
And you know what else you can eat? You can eat Leanne's muffin. Because she doesn't want it. She was with it.
I'll bring my own cinnamon roll.
If you like, I'll make some. Okay, moving on. Governance report.
While we worked on that document, we've been working on forever. It's board and officer and trustee responsibilities, and Mary Martin is the University of Wyoming.
University of Wyoming.
Wyoming, yeah. Yeah, let's see there. Extension grant.
She's the
Yeah,
extension agent for
yeah.
Jackson.
We met with her and Vicky the first time, right? And then Mary came here and met with me. Personally, we sat and banged the whole thing out together.
Yeah.
So
It just seems a lot.
it is, but you know what? It's comprehensive.
And she thought it was wonderful. She thought all boards should do this.
She thought it could be it could be published.
Well, Connie, they're bullet points.
Yeah, if you didn't see the bullet point
Yeah,
one,
'cause
you
you
got
might
the
have
wrong
gotten
paper.
into the wrong one.
On mine. It went on and
No,
on.
this
I know, I didn't want it. Yeah, this is the
bullet
bullet
one.
one. I don't think I printed it.
Two.
And this is good for not just this board, but future boards, you know, so.
It's all part of the orientation. It's not a
Yeah.
policy. It's just a document to use for orientation and they give everybody guidelines. What happened is that sometimes if there's like 2 or 3 policies in there that's kind of have the same name, I changed it though. I moved it says final on the top and that's what's in the SharePoint.
Cause I bet you were reading those paragraphs.
Probably.
I know.
It's a boring, but
I know.
So-
Connie, you can pull it up right now.
we didn't. We did.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
It's
Yeah, I
pretty
think-
concise.
I think Charlotte's right. Can I ask a dumb question? Because I don't remember.
No, we didn't.
Did we vote on nationwide, like the soft vote to approve it?
No, but you added that to the agenda.
Yeah,
Yes, but the thing was, we were gonna do a soft vote. Yeah, but.
yeah, vote, and if the employees approve it,
Employees.
yeah, we were gonna have you approve it, that if the employees said yes, then it would go forward.
We'll do that after this.
All right, sorry.
That's not a problem. I know.
Yeah, I had it scrolled up on my head.
Anyway, we just need an approval for the document because it's been hanging out there for a while.
So I don't want to vote to approve it. I would like to see, I just don't like having a bunch of different documents. I think so I went through and looked at the comparison between the bylaws and it. And there's lots of stuff on this Board of Trustees roles and responsibilities that isn't in the bylaws. And so I'm not good with that. I don't think that's okay. If we wanted to go through the bylaws and just turn it into bullet points, but there is, for example, the chair in the bylaws says that they're the primary liaison with the CEO, and it has significantly more than that. The primary contact for CEO, other executive, other board members, media, stakeholders, and community. Even like under here, it says the chair does the board recruitment, orientation, and development. So does that mean that I couldn't talk to somebody and say, I think you should think about putting your name down on the ballot? I mean, so and it's not really anything against the governance committee, or it's just that I would prefer that in our documents we match. And so either we need to add a lot to the bylaws, or, which I don't want to do that, or we pare this down so it's just saying what the bylaws saying is in bullet point form or whatever. But I went through and wrote down all the things that aren't in the bylaws that are on this, and it's a lot. And I don't want to do that.
That's fair. I will tell you that that document is expounding on the bylaws according to board rules,
Right.
across the board.
Yeah, I think it would be I feel like the purpose that you guys are trying to get to is to make the onboarding better.
Right.
I would
Exactly.
rather see us, rather than doing this, I would rather see us right at the beginning. I mean, just right there in May, do a weekend or a Saturday, preferably a Saturday, not a whole weekend, of maybe having somebody like Mary Martin come in and talk to us about roles and what the board's supposed to do. I think that would be really beneficial. But
Well, let me
I don't want to
say
get all this
that
down on people.
I invited everybody to that meeting.
I know you did.
And Carrie's the only one that came.
I know, and I would have liked to come, but I couldn't.
And
come
what
that day.
she says and what she teaches is in that document.
Right, I believe that. I believe that, but I don't, but that still doesn't, I feel like with all this stuff not in the bylaws, I feel like we're softly, I don't know, softly might not be the right word, but just kind of adding to the bylaws without really doing it.
Plus, I think it creates conflicts that aren't there, and it just like, which is the rule is. It just, if you have a conflict, which is the rule. So. I agree with Dan.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the board and officer trustee responsibilities.
Remember, it's not a policy.
It's not a policy.
What is it?
It's a teaching tool.
A teaching tool.
I'm sorry, that wasn't made clear to me. I thought we were talking about putting it in policy.
No.
No.
No. It's
That's
a
why
board-
I wasn't in favor of it. either.
It's a board
Right, but the-
orientation teaching tool. That's all it's supposed to
But the
be.
problem is when it exists, it becomes a policy.
Right.
How does someone know it's a board education and not a policy? If it's written, I mean, if I was a new board member, I would do that.
Well, first of all, it doesn't say policy. It's not in the policies.
Format.
It's really, would be put into the board orientation folder and used for teaching. That's the point of it.
So as a new onboarding member, I would get this paper and this would give me like a simplified version.
Exactly.
Can you state on there that this is not I mean, could it be written on there saying that by no means is this a our policy? I mean, just to clarify that.
But if you're a new board member and you're trying to learn things.
Right.
And you're getting something like this that provides information that's false. Like that the CEO reports only
Okay.
to the chair of the board and the CFO reports to the treasurer, those things aren't
Okay.
true.
So you just wanted to ring exactly what the bylaws state. That's what you're saying.
But,
clear
or
the
to
bylaws.
by,
Or just read the bylaws.
I mean, like, so for.
Well, I get why you condense it because the bylaws are a little cumbersome, but so you're saying.
Well, now
Yeah,
that's a
right.
very
Oh,
short.
you're short, so you want to expand on it.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So like, if you read this, like, so this is about how long it talks about the different officers.
That's the wrong
That's
paper.
the old slide.
This is the bylaws.
Oh, the bylaws.
Oh, the bylaws.
In the bylaws, there's
I'm
this
sorry.
much that talks about the different
Yeah.
people's roles.
Okay.
And so it's this much talking about the 4 or the 3 officers.
Very, very vague.
It is very vague or it's not really, I mean, so it is not as detailed as this.
Exactly.
And so, like, so just what I think is you should read this deal with the thought of what if the person that your worst thought person of being chair was, or treasurer, it moves all the power to the elected officers, which is fine if you agree with the elected officers. But just part of life is that elections happen.
Right.
And different people are going to be elected officers. And so I think, I mean, even, so it's not really that who the elected officers are. It's just that it's a safeguard to keep, because this adds so many more, what's the right word? Just adds so much more responsibility maybe, and than what the bylaws have. If somebody is in, it just adds a safeguard. This fact that we have 7 board members is a safeguard. And so taking away power from the 4 that aren't officers that's a bad idea in any situation. And that's what it seems like to me this is doing.
You're worried. Long after we're gone, you never know what kind of board you're gonna get, and somebody can exploit that document to use as, if you have members that aren't savvy enough to understand that this is a
That
policy.
isn't policy.
Right, so somebody could, I see what you're saying, to use it for, yeah, right. So not necessarily this board in general, but
Right.
a board down the road could. use
Right,
that. I got you.
exactly.
We talked about for the
Yeah,
future.
right, for the future. I understand, that makes
I
sense.
appreciate the hard work, you know, and I know it's been hard work that you guys have done. I just was confused. The purpose, I thought, was to change the bylaw.
No. The purpose all along has been as a teaching tool, just to expand on the bylaws.
And I missed that point, so. I guess
I made a motion, so,
Well, we're in the discussion mode.
well, we have to do second first, don't we? And then maybe we can discussion.
Second, you still wanna, like, for discussion, if everybody else wants to.
Well, why can't we just state it? This is this is a teaching
Yeah, just put on the side.
suggestion, not that it's the rules and regs.
It just
But
expounds
I do
on-
think Mary Martin's very learned in what she does, and she worked.
And I'm not saying she's not, but right now you have the document that you've worked on and you have our bylaws.
And they don't match.
They don't match, and I think
It's-
what I
it's
was saying,
very
so
clear they
that's
don't
why
match.
I thought what you're working on was to change bylaws. So that's why I needed to clarify. And I appreciate that you guys clarified that.
And I can go through, because I went through and marked down all the places they don't match. So if you want me to, I can, but it is extensive.
You have a motion, second.
Next, I kind of.
Well,
Next
I
segment, we're
still in
discussing.
discussion, I still, you know, is there a way to table it, just to like, I hate to do that. I know that, but I mean, until everybody's like closer, and this is my fault too for not paying attention to the processes intently as you guys have. But as long as, you know, everybody's kind of, they're still kind of, I don't know, because I don't know where I'm going on this, to be honest with you. And I feel like I'm the split vote right here, to be honest with you, so I need to know more on it, and I would like to see what Anne's prepared there, just so I have, because I do worry about that, and you never know what type of boards you're gonna get. You never know if the board could be, you know, you get a couple members on it that bully it, you know, and then they turn that into something. So I totally understand that. And that's what I don't want to have happen. Like I said, I don't think it's anything to do with this board. I think it's down the road. So I'd like to see how they don't compare, and then I'd be better to, or then I would have a better decision. I mean, a
And
clear
along
decision.
that line, we have the bylaws that we must own. And
Exactly.
we have this document that you said is a teaching tool.
Right.
Where is which one are you gonna follow?
The one that's easier to read.
Bylaws.
Well, here's what I
The
want.
one that says what you want it to say.
Right,
Because
so
you have to
now,
follow I mean, that's
That's
just a
why-
teaching tool.
Yeah, and Mary and I and Jamie and Carrie went over the bylaws at the same time. So it wasn't that the bylaws were ignored.
no, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that. I
no,
thought
I
you were
understand.
going to change the
No.
language in it. And that's what we were voting on tonight, and I would have said no, because I needed more time. But if it's just a teaching tool, I'm fine with that, but my concern is that which one will other people follow?
But the other point.
I thought they had to
Connie,
follow
is that-
bylaws, not a teaching tool.
Right.
So that's it.
But our
And that
board
has to say
cannot
Teaching
write,
tool.
we can't govern the actions of future boards other than through the bylaws.
Through the bylaw.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that,
So
Yeah.
So it would
Board
be
ain't looking at this and
policy
go, we
if
don't
you're
want it.
writing.
right,
a
well, I
future
know that.
board,
I'm just saying,
Guys, one at
You
a
can't
time.
do that.
sorry.
Go
You
ahead.
can't dictate what future boards.
So I don't
do.
know why we need a vote for it to be a teaching tool, I guess, that's another question.
Well, obviously, with the dissent, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, no, yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I would just,
Nick?
I mean, I think if you want to do this, like a compromise to me would be clarify on that document that this is not a policy. This is just a guidance
Teaching
tool
tool.
for people. And I still would like to see what you have there too, just to see like how far off it really is, because I don't know.
It's just that the bylaws
It's
just really,
Right,
it
but,
just gives a real brief description of what a chair does and what a
Okay.
treasurer does and what a secretary does. And what the committees do. That
So-
kind of thing.
So
Madam
let's.
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
this is your voice from the TV.
I know.
Up above, uh-oh.
Yeah, I just want to say and I haven't read through it, but in my experience working with boards, it's not uncommon to have a handbook that just has a high level description of things, and it can be more robust than the bylaws so long as it doesn't directly conflict with the bylaws. Without being policy, just sort of this is kind of how we do things generally. And you can change it. If another board comes along and it doesn't fit what they want to do, they can change it. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I have seen documents used in that way.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the floor, so.
What was the original motion?
Well, Leanne,
I made a motion to accept the governance committee's vote on, or board officer responsibility, trustee responsibilities document.
As a teaching
As a
tool?
teaching tool.
Okay.
I move we table it.
Well, we haven't, we,
When you move to table, it's in the, you can table it anytime and it's tabled.
Did you have a date? I mean, later in the meeting or for next month?
To next month.
we have a motion
Okay,
that is.
table
second.
precedes it.
Okay, so do you want to
Yeah,
vote?
so now you vote on the tabling motion.
Table.
Okay, I
and to,
So if, do I have a second for the motion?
no,
Tabling?
Leanne moved and tabled, right?
And table, now we vote on
The
tabling.
on the table. Just
Was there a
looking-
second to the tabling motion?
I'll second it.
Harry seconded.
Thank you.
Now I need discussion, and what I need to say is, I would be happy to look at your document, what you've written, what you've done, to see where your conflicts are and see if we can't come to an understanding about what is bylaw, what is teaching, what could be better, and then absolutely label it as a teaching tool. But maybe we need to change the bylaws. So maybe we need to look at that. So I don't have a problem with that.
Well, speaking of the bylaws, for example, it just says you take a vote, but it doesn't tell you how, or really give a lot of suggestions.
So the bylaws are essentially, is that what we're saying?
Pretty much, but see, the other thing is that the rules and regulations of how a board should run is not in the bylaws, really.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to it, it couldn't possibly be in those bylaws.
Right.
But if we need to see them in the bylaws in order to make them official, so that not only we, but future boards can use them, then we need to look at them. So I'm okay with that.
I don't, I mean, that's.
It will fall yours.
This is up there with the, what did you say? We'll be doing this till we die?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't point at me.
Nope, it was thrown to the sky.
All in
Wherever,
favor,
wherever Allison
Now,
is. It was
with
thrown
what
there.
you've said,
We're voting on the table.
yeah,
right,
so all in favor of
I
tabling?
guess, I know that you're bothered by that. Why? To table it.
because we've been over
We've been
this
doing
is
this
why
for
we
6
are
months.
here till 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and
But every time,
And we've been done,
I told her I didn't like it.
Well, you're
Well,
only one
you
board
have-
I know,
member.
I'm the only one.
No,
I didn't
no,
like
you're
it.
not, 'cause I said I'm gonna vote it. I'm
Wait
gonna
a
vote
minute,
no for
wait
it
a minute,
forever
guys.
because.
Hold on, stop. This is a totally different document.
I know, but. Never mind. It says the same thing, it's just in different form.
You asked for.
And now that I have clarification that it's for educational purposes, not changing the bylaws, that's a different animal to me.
Right. So the
Because I wasn't
motion's on
gonna
the
vote
floor
for
to table this discussion. All in favor? Opposed?
I,
And Nick didn't vote.
so we're moving to table.
Hang on, we're waiting to hear from Nick. No pressure.
I'm gonna move it, or I'll table it. I'll
Okay.
table it, yeah.
Okay.
And
So
I thank you
table.
guys for the work. I appreciate that. I just need to see what which you have over there, just to make sure how disconnected they are, is what you're saying. So I just need to see that evidence.
So Anne, will
Make a
you,
better vote? or a quick
yeah,
vote.
next time you'll bring that back and
Yeah.
say this is what,
Or send it out to us.
yeah, or send it to us so we can see it before.
Yep, okay. Anything else from governance?
I don't think so.
Okay. Foundation.
We met, we gave out money.
We're talking about getting more money.
Good day.
You gave out
How much money did you
$10,000 in scholarships. The one person is dancing down the hall every day, telling me how excited she is about what she's learning. So thank you very much.
Very nice. That was them, yeah. We're planning on having some strategic to talk about fundraising projects, and I'm thinking, and I'm not saying, I'm not speaking for the rest of them, but maybe the HVAC might be,
Well, you are, I think they are committed to $5,000 or something, $50,000 or something.
well, but I'm wondering if, one of the things we talked about on the foundation is having a real purpose. Scholarships have been great. We talked about a machine that I can't remember which one it was, and it was, yeah, I think people get behind knowing
Yeah,
there's
those
a
projects.
specific goal, and so,
You
the
wanna raise
meeting.
us some money?
Pardon?
You wanna raise us some money?
Well, yeah, we put in for the Festival of Trees, but I haven't heard.
I haven't heard, I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't think we got it.
I don't think we
Here.
did get it.
Because it's
That
coming
must be
up.
what I was thinking of when,
it.
because I thought we had gotten it. But we didn't.
The
get it.
event is this weekend.
Not
No,
the Festival of
no,
Trees
that's
is
your
not-
part.
Oh,
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
something different. It used to be trees, now it's wreaths. I don't know.
yeah.
Okay.
But,
I think
yeah,
that's December 1st. What is it? First.
that weekend. So, at any rate, that's the report that I shall give.
Well, thank you. And so ethics is December, so there's nothing there. Items for the future, the health fair wellness screening is tomorrow, 11 a.m. at the Weston County Senior Center. And then, of course, I said happy Thanksgiving to everybody because we won't be here. And so,
Make a motion, we move into executive session for personnel.
thank you.
I second it.
All in favor?
Who's second?
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we'll take a 10-minute break.